We got a show tonight. Welcome, Nortel Sports Network. We got the Pobo on. We got the Pobo of the Giants on with us tonight. We brought him on directly. Welcome, everybody, and welcome, Farhan.
Eric shocked it and came on with the hat, so I thought I'd shock it and come without a hat.
Can you put a pair of these on, Farhan, for us so we know we got the real? No, not the white one. Can we get the black one? Don't change your.
I don't have them.
Man.
I don't have them.
Wow. Hey, Eric, can you just start with my tweet so we don't have to answer Giovanni? Can you just open up my tweet?
That's not the Giovanni. That's the fake.
No, that is the fake.
That's the fake.
Oh, wait a minute. Is the real one in here?
I haven't seen him yet.
Okay, no. That's Black Giovanni, right?
Which one? The umpires one?
Oh, that was no. We could do that. We could do that one when we get going. We'll bring that one up later. I want to, yeah.
Is this the fake one or the real one?
This is the fake Giovanni.
That's the fake one.
Get out of here.
All right, here we go. Is that what you're looking for?
There we go, guys. I'm going to read this to you. The San Francisco Giants are hot, and so is Matt Chapman, the star of the game and the series. The infusion of the three amigos or the Latin sock exchange, or anything else you want to call these guys, Ramos, Matos, Luciano, has energized this team. The vets are playing well, and the kids have completely turned this team around.
Oh, and my bad. Sorry about that.
Forgot what the end said. Something to the effect of
went too quick.
The team is enjoyable to watch for the first time since 2021. Yes. Okay, it's the kids, guys. And what? Matt Chapman is...
What? The kids?
Eric makes a change.
That's right.
He works on it and he adds Randy Rodriguez, the fourth amigo. And you've got
that's a good one.
You got, hey, man.
All four of those guys are because of Sabian and Bobby Evans. Come on,
man. Come
on.
Well, let's get to today's game. Matt Chapman, hang a star on the guy today. Unbelievable defense. Comes up with a huge 3-run home run. Right now, he's as hot as you can get. I mean, that ball was above the letters, out of the strike zone, and he just went up and got it. And, I thought we were going to be opening the show today with a Joey Bart interview and a Joey Bart slam. But, Dan, will you praise Farhan finally making – you know what? This is the same Giovanni. He just changed his –
No, it's not. I'm telling you it's not. It's not the same Giovanni.
Well, do we have what happened to the other Giovanni?
He's disappeared. Well, he likes to put comments in our previous videos, but –
Wait a minute. It's the same spelling. He just changed the
No,
cover.
It's not the same spelling. The original Giovanni has 2 N's.
All right. Whatever.
It's not him. I'm telling you.
You know what? Anybody who's an imposter, we have to block.
Fair enough.
And why would you want to imposter him?
Yeah, just change your name and you can come back in because
there should be a Los 2 and a Los 3 and a Los 4 in the chat.
Yeah.
You want to mimic Giovanni? Like, dude.
Yeah, dude, Farhan had nothing to do with this. Armad will tell you how it is. Giovanni, shut the F up. Farhan had nothing to do with bringing up the young guys.
Exactly.
There we go. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. And have we moved off of Giovanni, just like aced him out of here?
You want me to? I could take care of that.
No, just give him a timeout. Just give him a timeout. Just give him a 5-minute timeout. Let him come back in with a different name. I don't need 2 Giovannis.
One is quite sufficient.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah, we're not going to have, two. I mean, come on. Be original. If that's not you, let's do something different. I didn't drop the F-bomb. I just said the F word. I didn't say that. I didn't fully say it. You won't hopefully hear me say that. If somebody gets me to lose my cool and say that, I have.
Oh, wait till Slater comes back in the outfield. Then you might be dropping some F-bombs. That might be justification.
That might be it. Los, I need to let Eric go solo here for a minute. I need to speak with you in private.
I know what that's about.
Well, let's just.
All right, fair enough.
I'll call you, Los, and
right now.
Yeah, right now on the show. We'll just close our camera off and put us on mute.
High level discussions going on here.
High level discussions going on here, and I just need to just pick up your phone when I call
bald.
Here.
Only one bald guy on the show.
Yeah. Here we go. Just go ahead and hit mute and hit you can't. All right, there we go.
There you go. Cool. All right, guys. Hey, while they're having their discussion, hey, how about them Giants today? Paul Skeens was a little bit different, wasn't he? It looks like he wasn't trying to go out there and blow 100 every time he was throwing a pitch. Pitched a little bit differently today. Giants still had some difficulty trying to hit off him. I mean, they were getting some hits, which was nice. But they got into that bullpen. Once they got into that damn Pittsburgh bullpen, that bullpen is, that's pretty atrocious. And the Giants were able to take advantage, and that's what you want to see them do, right? You want to be able to see them take care of these type of teams. Granted, I mean, the teams that they beat, what was it? How come I can't even remember who they played before they went to Pittsburgh? Anyways, but they're beating the teams that they should beat. That's what you want to see. And you're still seeing the young kids coming through. Ramos had a home run. Of course, we're talking a little bit about Chapman. We'll get back more into that when Dan gets back. We could talk more about Chapman, but the guy, man, he's on fire. There's no doubt about it. The guy is on fire, both with the bat and the glove. You can't argue with the production that Matt Chapman is putting out there. Love it. Love to see that. And this is what I've wanted to see. I wanted to see veterans who can produce along with the kids. Because when you do that, you're cooking with gas, right? You're cooking with gas when you got young kids who are coming up who are taking care of business, and you got vets behind them to back them up, to help them out. Ideally, you know what I think is when Conforto comes back, I think the team's going to be even deeper. You got Conforto as your veteran outfielder along with Matos and Ramos out there. Man, I think that's looking pretty good when he comes back. All right, they're back.
We're back.
Answer Chase. Who's Chase? Where's Chase?
What we
miss?
miss?
Call-in available. Chase brother.
Oh, man.
What did we miss, Eric? What did we miss?
Nothing. I was just talking a little bit about the game. Just a little bit. I tell you what, I'll put the link out there. If you're uncomfortable with the link, you can always turn off the camera, but you could still talk. If that suffices. I don't know if Dan has the phone ready to go.
I don't, but I could get it.
Oop, there we go. Well, there's that for now until Dan gets the phone if he wants.
Yeah.
Eric and Dan, I promise you the Giants are sweeping the Phillies. Ooh.
Slow down.
Yeah, hold on.
Slow down. I'm the only
excited, but yeah, let's not.
I'm the only one that can make accurate predictions. So slow down. Slow down. If you want a prediction on the game, I told the guys earlier today, God, I wish I could predict games when I'm actually betting money on the game, because when I actually put money on the game, it's about 65, 70% of a loss. But man, when I don't put money on a game, not only did I call the Giants winning today, I told you how it would play out. I said they're going to get Skeens' pitch count up. And when they get to the bullpen, they're going to come back on the bullpen. I said it exactly like that. So it's just easy to say, they're going to win the game.
I said that last night. I was like, just keep your shoulder on the bat, or keep the bat on your shoulder, I should say. And just get to the bullpen, because when you get to the bullpen, you're going to be able to get some stuff done.
That bullpen is awful.
I like their bats today, because, this guy throws hard, and they were taking an opposite field approach. Again,
Ramos, dude.
We talk about that a lot. Like, stop trying to hit homers and exit velocity. Go with the pitch.
That's what Ramos did. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Except for the home run. The other
Except for the home run.
The other hit he had went to right field. He had another hard hit ball that almost went to the wall in right field. I like what Ramos is doing.
Yeah. I picked up Matos. Gonna ride with him. So yeah,
might as well.
It was a very, very, very exciting game. Very good to see that the team can come back from a few runs down, because a month ago they were dead. You're down 3 runs, much less 5 runs.
Oh yeah, they've made 2 comebacks with down 5-1, 5-0.
And that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
So they're putting together good at bats. Hitting is contagious. We keep saying it. The veterans are now starting to, feel it. They're enthusiastic about coming to the ballpark. And Chapman, this is who he is. He's going to go on a 2-week tear where he's going to hit about 350, 400. All the people that back Chapman are going to say we're right. And eventually he's going to go into a big time slump and not hit for 2 to 3 weeks. So there's balance. That's how baseball is. It's a long season, man. So
it is. And you know what? Hey, as long as he's producing, I'll be happy. But
exactly. Props to him. And enjoying it.
No doubt about it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But did you want to get more into Chapman, Dan? But you were kind of talking about him before.
I
had your discussion there.
Chapman had an amazing series. Right now, if you watched Matt Chapman in this past series, you think he's the MVP of baseball right now.
Yeah, I know.
He played. Hey, look, let me just say this. And don't chat, for all you guys who played, you understand this, who didn't play, don't say, oh, Dan played. I'm just going to say, I know not to that level, anywhere near it, but when you're feeling good and in a groove, you feel like you can do everything. And when I saw him go get that ball in the hole today, where he just reached, lunge for it, spun and throw it, I thought, oh my gosh, it's been 40 plus years since I could do anything close to just being active. But
wasn't that against Bart again too? Wasn't that Bart that hit it? Yeah, another one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when you are in a groove, you can't wait for the ball to come to you. You're just hoping.
Waiting. Yeah.
You're waiting for the ball to come for you. And when you're up, man, you can't wait till your turn comes up. It's like, it's fun. And I'll tell you, there's no coincidence, and you can't tell me that this would be happening if the young kids weren't here. And let me tell you one other thing about the kids. You guys might want to get on, you guys who want to get on Luciano because he's, learning at shortstop. Let me just tell you something. If Ahmed was on first base today, he wouldn't have taken second, and he wouldn't have taken third. That took balls, and that is a guy with anticipation and speed, and you cannot teach that.
And Dan, another thing, he had that error, right? But what did he do right after he committed that error?
Oh, he gave the perfect tag.
Beautiful tag. He catch and tag, man. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
The guy
he made up for it.
You can see the athleticism in this kid. Look, he's going to make some mistakes at shortstop. If you don't want him out there, then you know what? You better start training him for a different position, because you need this guy in the lineup. Look, Giants have zero speed. Or had it. Now they've got Ramos, Luciano, and Matos who can move. Mato's probably the slowest of the three, if you ask me.
Right.
But
but he hustles.
Look at the play he had in the second inning. Was it the first inning? The leadoff homer by McCutchen to lead off the game for the Pirates.
Yeah, see, I mean, I was in a damn VA office.
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
Oh man, I wish we could play it. Matos, what an effort! He went flying after the ball from straightaway center. He had to run a long ways, timed it, jumped in the glove over the wall. As he hit the wall, the ball got jarred out of his glove, and he had it. He had it. He had it in the web. He had it right. I mean, right in the pocket.
Yeah, he caught it. He
caught it.
The announcer made a great call. He said he fumbled it when he hit the wall. He got when a receiver catches the ball and he gets hit and fumbles it.
Yeah.
The wall caused the fumble.
Yes, Michael.
He had it in his glove.
Yes, Michael has. Hey, Bora, come join us. Make it a foursome here. Like the crew, the four.
Did you send him the link?
No, but I'll send it to him right now.
Oh yeah, hold on. I'll just send it.
I'll just send it to him. I'll just send it right to him.
All right, fair enough.
We might have Chardall jump in.
Michael Roeder, absolutely. Estrada went from first to third. That was another example of what speed can do on a team. I mean, I'm telling you right now, there's three guys that are vets that are doing really well: Chapman, Estrada, and Wade, and that's great to see. And here's the thing with Luciano. You know what? I'll take some of the issues he may have at shortstop because his upside is so much better than Ahmed, right? So much better. Because where else are you going to put Luciano around? You're going to replace Wade, who's Ted Williams right now? Are you going to replace Ramos in right field? Are you going to replace him with Matos in center? There's no other position. The only position right now that Luciano can play where you're going to have him in a lineup every single day is shortstop. So just keep him at shortstop, right? Yes, we're going to have to deal with some growing pains.
Wait a minute. D-shot. Let's not put words in my mouth, okay? Have I ever said this, guys?
No, you've never said that.
Come on.
You can have an opinion for sure. Everybody can have an opinion. But if you've never played the game, there's certain intricacies. Let's say that again. Intricacies that you will just simply not understand about the game. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of announcers that never played the game. Come on. Tons of baseball people.
I'm not great in IT. You know, when my computer's acting up, I don't try to fix it because I'll make it worse.
Just call Dan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I didn't say S-H. I didn't say S-H-I-T. I said I-T. You know, man. He knows what he's talking about because he's done it. So, you know, it is what it is.
Dan, you say a lot of things. I do say a lot of things. You know, you have to say a lot of things if you're hosting a YouTube show. You can't just, you know what? Yeah. I'll just sit here. All of us. Let's all
we're just throwing out
we'll just
what we think. That's all we're doing. We're just throwing out what we think.
Look, I mean, you don't have to play the game to understand the game. I mean, probably I would say a lot of people that love baseball didn't play the game, but understand it well. But when I give you insights into certain things about playing the game, I'm telling you that from a player's standpoint, because a lot of people want to rip guys just to rip guys. You know,
I'm gonna test the chat right now. Eric, Dan, do not answer this question. Do not. You're going to be tempted to, but don't answer it. This is for the chat. Okay, this is a baseball question. In your guys' opinion, what is the best count to steal a base on? The best count to steal a base on. Let me hear the answers. Type it in the chat.
7 and 5. 7-5. I know baseball. 7-5.
No, not the score.
No, I know baseball. 7-5.
Go ahead. Don't be afraid. For all of you that are saying, "Oh, we talk and this, blah, blah, blah." Go ahead. Let me see the bet. I'm not talking about hit and run. I'm talking about when is the best count to steal a base. To steal a base. not hit and run. Listen to what I'm saying. I'll wait a few more minutes. Nobody's got it right so far. Stephen Dre, congratulations. You are correct. It's 0-2. You know why it's 0-2? Because 80 to 90% of the time, a pitcher wastes a pitch.
They waste the pitch.
It's usually a curve or a slider or something in the dirt, harder for the catcher to handle than a fastball away, which is easy. They can catch it, snap it, and get the throw off.
I'll take it a step further, Los.
Nice job, Steven.
I mean, so how do I know that? Because I played a lot of years of baseball. So, I mean, it's not the definite answer. It's not black and white, but for the most part, you guys understand that the best chance to steal a base is on a breaking ball. And if it's, in the dirt, that's hard.
Let me give you. Let me give you.
Is that fair, Eric? Is that fair?
Let me give you a better scenario. Even a better scenario.
Go ahead.
2 outs, 0-2, leadoff man on. You're 2 outs. You only 1 runner on.
Say it again.
Attempt 2 outs. You're down. Counts 0-2, and the leadoff hitter's up. I'm going to steal because 1, if I get thrown out, he comes back up to lead off the inning with a fresh count. 2, if I make it, I'm in scoring position for my leadoff hitter. But do we see the Giants? I mean, today the Giants had a chance to run on 3-2 a couple times, and both times they hit into, or at least once they hit into a double play, and Skeens had already used his 2 attempts. So you could have got a great jump. He wasn't going to throw over and make it a ball 4 and put first and second. Come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's not a black and white answer. People will say other counts maybe are a little bit better. Senior makes a legitimate point about pitch outs on 0-2. And you don't see pitch outs hardly anymore. I mean, that's kind of a lost start these days. But
I haven't seen a pitch out in a while.
I haven't seen a pitch out or a suicide squeeze in a long, long time. So those are the little intricacies of the game of baseball. Something that, today's game's kind of gotten away from. It's so statistical as far as, stats, home runs, exit velocity, launch angle, stolen bases, all these things that can, make your stats better and get a better contract. But a lot of guys are selfishly doing things to pad their stats. They're not doing the little things to help the team win. That's where the game is right now. I mean, bunting a guy over, getting him over from second to third doesn't pad your stats. Sacrifice fly helps win the game late in the game. So that's what I personally kind of miss from the game. It's just more the team concept of trying to win.
Hey, can you pull up Will Martinez's text there? I tried to email it to you, but I don't know how to do it. It's interesting stat on team ranking and offensive production by position. Pretty interesting stat there. The Giants are ranked 26th.
Hey, Babe Rocks, I'll send you my Venmo information for that. You're welcome.
So heck of a series though, man. I mean, 3 great games that just crazy endings. I think it's the second time I think they said on the broadcast today that in baseball history that 3 games in a row were decided by teams down by 4 runs in the 8th inning or later and won. Yeah. It's like unbelievable.
I think the most impressive thing with what the Giants have done the last 2 games, because we always talk more on this show than any other baseball show about the mental side of the game. This is now a young Giants team. For them to come back, for them to come back after a heartbreaking loss and to throw away a game the way they did after game 1, that shows us a lot. They easily could have tanked and gotten swept because they were facing.
They grinded it out, man.
Best pitchers. They never said die. They came back and won 2 games. That is impressive. Hopefully that will carry them over.
Yeah, they got a chance to go into New York with momentum now, and they have a chance to win 2 of 3 in New York and make this and actually come home 500, which would be a remarkable turnaround. You want to be at, I mean, right now, I will say this. The kids have so far pretty much saved the season, and Matt Chapman is playing out of his mind. Look, if I'm wrong on the guy, I'll gladly say I'm wrong. I don't have a problem with saying I'm wrong.
Too.
You know, I've said many times, I'm not going to be right all the time. Nobody is. But you know what? Before you get too excited and say I was wrong, he was crappy for 40 games. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good for 10. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like all of a sudden, you know, we're not going to just say, oh, you were wrong, Dan. No, 80% of the time he has been crap.
Last time I checked my math book, 40 is greater than 10.
Yeah. So where do we go from? Let's see what he does. I think he probably remains hot for the rest of this road trip. Would be kind of surprised if he keeps it up against the Phillies and the Yankees at home. We'll see.
I tell you another thing. These last 2 games, right? The Giants had to navigate 2 horrendous starting pitching performances.
Right.
Snell was crap.
Oh, and
Black, he's not.
I've had enough of Black. I've had enough of Bud Black, Mason Black. Yes. I've had enough.
So those 2. So the team has navigated. We're able to pull out 2 wins from 2 shitty starting pitching performances. Now you're going into New York, who isn't playing that well. But look who you got going now. Now you got what? Harrison, or is it Hicks first? Who goes first, Dan?
I think Harrison.
It goes Harrison and Hicks, and then Snell,
and
or not Snell, Webb, right?
Right.
So you got your 3 quote unquote best pitchers in the rotation right now who are gonna go in into New York, and they could be able to take care of business.
The Mets have not been scoring runs either. So.
No, and here's the thing: they need to address the starting pitching issue, especially with the Black. What do you do with Black? I mean, who are you going to throw in that position? They got to get somebody, because otherwise it's going to be tough. Look, the team's not going to always be scoring, you know, almost 10 runs a game. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to have to figure that out.
Exactly. And you know, I don't know what the answer is on this, you know, with Mason Black. I just, you know, he's just,
his stuff is just hittable. It's just, he's not overpowering.
He's got 2 pitches.
Yeah.
2. Yeah. They ain't gonna get it done. Not in the major league level. Hey, we got Chase down there. You want to bring him in yet, Dan, or just wait a minute?
Hold on 1 sec. I'm looking. All right. Maybe the answer is right in front of us for the Giants. We bring in from the Red Sox, Chase Anderson.
Hey, there it is. Look at that.
Pitcher, Chase Anderson.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Is that Chase Utley? That's Chase Utley. We got Chase. How's it going, Chase?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Love your guys' show.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
But I will say I am much more lenient on Farhan than you guys have been.
Oh, we love Farhan here.
Yeah, Farhan.
Yeah, of course. But what about that team the last few days, man? They've been absolutely killing it. And I think it's been a mix of what you guys have been asking for, the youth, but also the veterans. It's been doing such good things for this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the only veteran that's not doing anything is Yaz.
No, it's Yaz. Exactly. Yesterday he struck out 4 times. He struck out 4 times yesterday. Are you kidding me?
He hasn't caught on to the youthful energy yet.
So my thing is, because I'm actually a little bit excited to get Conforto back, and then
I think Conforto
if we replace Ramos to get Conforto at bats, and we get Yaz at bat, it's just
that'd be a huge mistake.
Conforto in left, Matos in center, Ramos in right, and that's how
I like that. Conforto, Matos, Ramos.
Yeah, with Yaz as a defensive replacement.
Right.
And does everybody see that the two young guys, Luciano as well, the three young guys, they're all right-handed hitters. They're not only playing against lefties. Yes or no? Are they hitting right-handed pitching? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's how you've been trained as a big leaguer, from little league to high school to college to single A to double A. If you're right-handed, you don't come out against right-handed pitching. That's why I'm so amazed Austin Slater has been able to have the career that he's had for as long as he's had.
Who was
to
the
not
home
be
run?
able to hit right-handed pitching.
Ramos home run today. Who did he hit that off of?
Stratton, I think. Right?
Was it Stratton again?
I think it was Stratton. Right? Was it
Right-hander? Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
I mean, hey, and he drilled that. He drilled that down the left field line. I mean, Ramos is.
Don't need to platoon them. They can hit
You
right-handed
don't.
pitching.
No, and
Skeens is
wait,
about as
who
nasty
was
as
the
it
first
gets.
two hits? Who was the first two hits off of Skeen today?
Matos,
yeah.
opposite
And-
field, and was it Wade?
No,
Or was it Ramos?
Ramos, right
To
field.
right field. That's what I was
Both
talking
to right
about.
field.
Right
Both to
field.
right field. Oh, guys that don't have to pull the ball. But when
Snell.
you pitch it inside, what did Ramos do?
Jacked it.
I'm telling you. I'm not saying again. We're not saying they're all stars. We're saying
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. They do not need to be platooned. They don't.
I
Hey,
think
Is Senior in here tonight?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, he's in it.
Give us the breaking news. I just saw something come across. I'm not in the league anymore, but I see a deal that came down.
Oh no, it did it. Hold on.
I also
Wow.
Matt pulls off a deal. What is the deal? Announce it. Well, let me see it. Let me pull it up here. I can't remember.
Here, hold on. I think I got it in my here. I think I can find it.
Wow, a fantasy baseball trade in the NorCal
Forgive us just for a few minutes here. Just
a monster deal.
a monster deal.
Wait, let me
has gone
count this deal.
down.
1, 2, 3, 4. A 9-player deal.
How come I don't see it on here?
Hey,
So
while
you're gonna have to announce it, Dan.
Well, let's see. Let me see it. Does it show it? Yeah, it does show it's okay. Pending transaction. Again, I'm okay. It looks like
Wait, I see it now.
Mike's team. What's his name's team?
Here we go. I got it. Here we go. So we got the two teams that are involved. Jung Bruce Lee, also known as Mike in the chat,
Is he in
and
there?
Matt to the rescue.
Is Matt are either of them even in here tonight?
None
Or
of
they-
them, neither of them.
Oh,
are
they
in the
must
chat.
be working on the deal. Okay.
So-
Announce the deal.
Matt to the rescue, also known as Matt in the chat, and Jung Bruce Lee, known as Mike in the chat, have completed a deal. It's going to go through at 1:00. So going
9-player deal.
to
Oh, there it is right there. He just
going to Matt is Marcus Simeon, Ronald Acuna Jr., right?
Yeah,
Jordan Montgomery,
it's right here.
right?
Yeah.
And how do you say, is it Jameson Tyone, right? Isn't that what it is?
Italian.
Italian, whatever. That's what Matt gets. Jung Bruce Lee gets Luis Reyes,
Right.
Jorge Soler, Tariq
Tariq
Skubal, Charlie Morton, and Eric Fetty. Wow.
Big deal.
Woo! That's a
Who
big
is
deal.
who is Jung Hoo Lee?
Mike,
Mike.
Mike
the one who loved. Yeah, Mike gave up. Simeon
Acuna and Simeon.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Please
I
don't
know,
come in
dude.
here. Please don't come in here talking about Chapman no more after that trade.
I don't even understand it. I don't
You
even
gave up
understand it.
Acuna and Simeon.
And Simeon.
Yeah, Cooney's had a rough year. Could I ask one more question for you?
Yeah,
guys
go
before I
ahead,
get out of
Jason.
here? What do you guys think of the Giants starting pitching staff so far? Do you guys think they're all right or what? Because I think
Yeah.
Farhan made some decent moves, but Blake Snell's been nothing short of disappointing yet.
Shitty.
Shitty. And a lot of the AAA pitchers haven't lived up to the hype. So I just want to hear what you guys think before I hopped off of you.
Well, Jordan Hicks was not thought to be much of a pickup, and he's turned out to be really good. And then it's been negated by Blake Snell, was thought to be really, really good. And other than me, I was the only one that said I didn't want that deal. He hasn't been so far. We can't say it's exactly early anymore. We're pushing into June now, so he better pick it up because they invested a lot of money in him, and there were other options, quite frankly, in my opinion, that were better than him. So,
like Imanaga, right? They didn't pursue him. They saw him as a 4 or 5, right? Like, imagine if he was
don't mention him.
Pitching staff, right?
Yeah. Eduardo Rodriguez. Man, there was other.
I know.
So he gets to answer your question. He gets a C. He gets a C so far. I think Lee was a good pickup, but he got hurt, so that's kind of an incomplete. But based on the guys that are performing, Soler's not really performing. Chapman's finally starting to do well. Snell not been good. Hicks has been very good.
I just texted Will.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So about a C or a C plus, Chase?
All right, hell yeah. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I'm gonna hop off, but hopefully we see Stardall on here soon.
Oh, come on!
Let me ask Chase a question here.
I appreciate it. Love
wait, Chase.
Channel.
Wait, Chase. 1 minute. You asked us some questions. It's time to put them in the center. How do we do that?
Oh, we can't with 4 people.
Oh, okay.
You can. Hold on.
Here we go.
There we go. Oh, he's going.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, star of the show, Chase. This is not a bash any kind of sessions. I know you came on and you said you're a little bit softer on Farhan than we are. Just wanted to hear your reasons why, because you might be right. So go ahead, tell us.
Because well, listen, I've been hard on him the last few off seasons, but this off season that he had right now, signing Snell, signing Chapman, signing Soler, and I know it hasn't really played out, but it made me optimistic for the future of the club. It made me feel like we're really going for it. You know what I mean? The last few off seasons, I feel like we just decided we're going to go for the wild card or we're going to be third in the West. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest mistake that regime's made is not capitalizing after 2021, right? Like, they won 107 games, and they didn't do a damn thing in the offseason, not one single thing. And they said, we'll ride off of that with a bunch of old, aging players, and I thought that was horrible. But I thought this is the first offseason for Farhan where I thought that we're going for it, and
I can understand
that. It made me feel excited for the season. This is the first season I felt excited for in a long time.
That's good. I mean, hey, I was for the. I'll go on record. I was for all of the deals this offseason. I was not crazy about the Chapman signing, but I lived with it at the end because it was a short-term deal. Right now, this week, it's looking like a great deal. And I hope it continues because then the Giants are actually a fun team to watch with the young guys, and they compete. They have a really good shot at, making the playoffs, and you never know what can happen. Plus, I really don't want to see Chapman back next year because that means it's a double whammy. He failed, and you further block, a prospect like Schmidt. So he's got to perform. If he continues to perform anywhere near what he's doing in the past week to 10 days, it's going to help the club and he'll move on. But, I'll just be honest. I wasn't for the move, but I was pushing for Soler. He's not performing. I think he will get hot at some point. I pushed for Snell just because they had to get a pitcher, and there was no pitching out there. It doesn't look like a great move right now, but we'll see. I did like the Hicks signing. I was pushing for him, but as a bullpen guy, he's doing well right now. Who else did he sign? Jung-Hoo Lee. I was fine with that. That was a good move, I thought. Who else did he sign? Murphy. That one never really did me anything. I wasn't
They
like,
should have kept Bart over Murphy
Yeah.
any day of the week.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think those were most of the moves, right? I mean, at least he did something, right? I just don't like the idea of them holding the kids back for guys that are, Slater and Yaz signing those guys in the offseason when you didn't have to tender those guys. I mean, I don't think Slater would have got picked up. I think Yaz probably would have got picked up by somebody. But Yaz is fine on the roster. Just keep him as a fourth outfielder. Just keep him as a defensive replacement. Keep Ahmed as a late inning defensive replacement when the Giants are ahead. You can see what Luciano does as a guy on offense. We talk about his defense, or everybody does, like that's the only side of the game.
He signed him.
If you look in 2010 when Renteria was on the team, Bruce Bochy used Crawford not to use his bat, but as a defensive replacement in late innings. And I think that's how we should be treating Ahmed, as a defensive replacement in late innings.
Yep.
That's what he should have been from the get-go. And he took that job in spring training when we harped on it like, okay, so the rookie lost his job, but the veteran right fielder who didn't do much in spring training and was outplayed didn't. It just sends that's a hypocritical message you're sending. So
I 100% agree.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Yaz is a fine fourth outfielder, but I think Slater, he's got to go. DFA.
Got to go.
That's going to be the real interesting one. There's a lot of noise about DFAing him, but if I had to put my money on it, Farhan loves the guy for whatever reason. He finds a way to keep him. But
it's because he wants to be right. He wants to be right about the players.
And that's egotistical right there, and that's not what's best for the team.
That's not what's best for the team. Thank you.
So appreciate. Hey, Chase, great comment.
I'm going to hop off, but I appreciate you guys. Love the channel. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Chase.
Tell your friends.
Thank you, Chase.
Tell your friends to subscribe, too.
Appreciate I will, 100%. And Military Chronicles. Definitely.
Yes.
Tell them all.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate that, Chase.
All right,
Thank
Chase.
You.
Welcome to the show.
Woo!
Hey, guys, see? He disagrees with it a little bit on Farhan. We didn't put him on a tree.
No.
Come on, guys. You guys come in.
Not at all.
We'll give you good airtime, and we're not going to sit here and try and tear you apart.
Exactly. Look at this. Brian Iglesias. He goes a little late to the party, but I need some more Randy freaking Rodriguez. This young guy has major guts. You know what he's talking about? He's talking about the kids. Let's go.
They didn't draft Rodriguez, did they?
No, yes, they did.
They did? He's been around that long?
Yes, he has.
I've never heard of him as a prospect.
Was he an international signing too?
I'm not sure. I think we looked it up yesterday, right? He got signed in 2017 or 2018.
And he probably was an international signing then.
I will always,
Let me see. How old is Randy Rodriguez? Let me take a quick peek here. If he's
Hey, Cameron, join the link here. Hold on. You don't have to say nothing. Just join in there, and you could talk in the private chat and get me your contact information.
Randy Rodriguez is 24. Yeah, he's Ramos' age. If he was signed in 17, he's international because you can't get players in the draft at 16, 17 years old.
Look at this. These guys knew how to draft, right? Come on. Come on. You can't look. Did Bobby Evans make some mistakes? Absolutely.
This
Even
would,
Brian
yes,
Slayton,
I'm
right?
with Will. This would be a win-win. Can the
Oh,
Giants manage to make
love
the
it.
postseason and still fire Farhan in the offseason? That's a win-win for me. This is all in spite of Farhan, who would still be letting the kids rot in AAA.
Facts.
Absolutely. Facts. That's the winning comment so far.
Rack him, as Jim
Yeah.
Rome would say.
Yeah, the T-Mobile play of the game.
Good job, Will. Yeah, that's spot on. I mean, if Farhan tries to have an interview 4-6 weeks from now, team is 10 games above 500. If he tries to take credit for these young guys, oh man, I hope people see through him, because he had nothing to do with those young guys coming up. They did not come up on merit. They did not come up on their good play or their upside. They came up because his picks, his veterans, his journeymen end up getting hurt. So I hope he gets called out for that. Facts are facts. Truth is truth. People can't handle the truth, like a few good men would say.
You can handle the truth. Great movie.
You know, and a lot of people, like Chase, understandably give Farhan credit because finally he spent money. So they thought he did a good job. But just because you spend money doesn't mean you did a good job, because if you spent money and those
Can't
guys
handle the truth.
don't do well.
Are we bringing in Cameron right now?
No. I'm just getting his information.
Oh, you're not? Okay, he's not coming on the show?
No.
Okay. It's open line Thursday. We have the link still out there, so we may have some other people popping in. But the Giants are hot right now. They're 25-26. They're almost at the third of the way season. What is third of the way? 55 games, something like that? What's
54.
54, right?
54.
Yeah, so they will hit the third of the season here in New York. And, they're playing close to 500 ball.
Don't look now, but Tyler Fitzgerald, another young guy, is swinging a really hot bat. But he won't be called up anytime soon because he got picked off. Young people's mistakes are magnified.
Yeah.
All right, cool deal, Cameron. Appreciate the information. We'll talk soon. All right, cool.
He never came in. Giovanni?
No. Oh,
he said he was. For sure.
Yeah, good as gold. Yeah, whatever. Get out of here. And then he tried to mess with me in the comments in yesterday's. He's like, "Hey, it's nice to see Eric talking about Rodriguez. Guess who brought him up? Farhan." So I had to respond. Yeah, who's the one that signed him? Come on. Who's the one that signed him? It wasn't Farhan.
When is the Mike Eric ping pong matchup going to happen?
Oh, dude, I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I got money on Eric, man.
Who's playing ping pong?
Eric.
Who was it?
And Eric and the president of the Matt Chapman fan club, Mike.
Mike's going to play you in ping pong?
I doubt it. Yeah, you don't.
I'll play you.
Man, I'll go easy. I'll go easy.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty good. I'm not.
All right.
Look,
All
I'm
right.
not just
All right.
pretty good.
As long as it's like a, what's the triathlon or the, all right. It's ping pong, it's cornhole, and it's game of horse.
Okay. How about darts? You want to throw darts in there too?
Sure.
I will beat you in ping pong. I'll beat you in cornhole. I'll beat you in darts.
Oh, you give me a break. Give me a break. You will not beat
horse.
me in...
You might beat me in horse. You might beat me.
I will whip you in horse and I'll whip you in cornhole, man.
No, I'm pretty damn good at cornhole.
Oh, jeez.
I'm pretty damn good at cornhole.
I've got to look. I was a pitcher, man. I can throw.
Dan's got a system.
I've lost one game in cornhole in my entire life, and it happened to be to my wife. She just and her friend. I was on doubles team. Oh man,
That's not a glowing endorsement.
yeah. But we did.
We will go play. Eric. Dan will go play. There's a lot of places around here to go play.
I got cornhole right here in my backyard, man.
Oh, that's home court advantage. We'll go to.
We'll go to anywhere. We'll go anywhere.
I know a few spots. Yeah.
Eric, I guarantee you, Eric throws like a girl. He said it. I guarantee you. Let me see
I'm so good with cornhole that I throw overhand.
No, you don't throw it overhand.
No, you don't.
Let me see you throw a baseball though.
How about a dart? There we go. Ready?
Yeah, dart.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
How about pool? Eric?
Pool.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm okay at pool too.
I'm okay.
Pickleball, you probably beat me, man.
Ping pong.
I would love to play. I'd love to be playing pickleball right now, but I got a torn labrum in my hip. Man, I gotta do things that I don't have to move a lot right now.
That's gonna make ping pong and beating Eric tough if you can't.
Yeah,
move side to side.
I can move a little bit. I just can't move fast. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this hip. I already had an injection, a cortisone or a steroid injection, whatever they do 2 weeks ago. It didn't do nothing.
Oh, what the heck is it?
So let me ask you this. Me and the boys are going to be in Wrigley coming up pretty fast. What do you think about maybe live streaming coming straight?
Yeah, man. I'm still kicking around of grabbing a Southwest flight and going. I've got points. I need to use them. I just got to work out the details. What is it? Monday through Wednesday?
Monday, yeah. We all get in Monday and we all leave Wednesday night. So we're catching the Monday night game and the Wednesday day game. So we're going to 2 games, and then Tuesday we'll just kind of see the city.
And we're Tuesday just traveling the south side. We're going to see if we can maybe get up with a gang or something.
No, I'm not going near the south side.
Yeah, exactly. Man, let's see. CAD V20. Oh, this is one of my haters on Larry's show right here. This guy.
Oh, he is. That's right.
Where are all the negative Giants experts at? CAD V, why don't you
get out of here, dude? Come on.
Join the show. Come on. Let's
come
join
on. Here we go.
Throw the link out there. Let's see if CAD V will come on.
He won't.
He won't.
We're still here because we said, well, very clearly, when they bring up the young guys, they'll win. So we were right.
Oh, come on, Cad V. I seen what you said in Larry's chat towards Dan. Come on, man.
Yeah,
let's be honest here. If anything, let's be honest here.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, there's been some pretty. Yeah, but I'm a forgiving guy. I don't. People want to talk respectful. I'm fine. Talk disrespectful. I don't have time for it.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
I put out. Check this tweet out I put out today. Eric already showed it at the top of the show, but
you need me to put it back up.
Hold on here. I'm trying to find. I blocked a guy because he said something tonight, and I just blocked him. He said something about me being negative, and I love to be negative. And I'm happy because I put something up positive about Bart. I said I was happy for Bart. Yeah, I was happy for Bart. And then some guy says, "Were you happy that he dropped the ball?" And Luciano, I said, "Yeah, because it helped the Giants win." He says, "Well, which one is it?" I said, "I'm happy for Bart because I like Joey Bart. I've met Joey Bart. He's a good guy. And I think he got jobbed with the Giants. But it was nice to see the Giants win the game. So there we go. So, that's just the way it is.
Chase, you are correct. We did want Wade gone. Absolutely. We wanted a different first baseman, but you know what? The guy's playing. I can't deny. You cannot deny that Wade is out there as being the second coming of Ted Williams without the power.
Hard to be perfectly right all the time.
Yeah.
Been wrong on Wade. I love Wade. Great dude. Root for him.
Here's the deal, though. You want the common denominator that everybody in this chat, well, majority of the people in the chat is, we want the team to succeed. We just had a different way of how we wanted to make the team better. That's all we want. We want the team to be better. Some people like certain players, some people like other players. But ultimately, the common denominator is we want the damn Giants to succeed. That's what we want.
You guys that say, look, I've been on this show and I've been very honest with everybody. I don't hold back. I did not like the Giants the way they were constructed at all. And don't tell me you did. They were as boring as hell to watch. They couldn't score more than 3 runs. They were awful. And I actually tweeted. I've got it on record. I've got records. I said, when they bring up, I don't know if you can find it, Eric, but I've got it up there that says when. In fact, you can pull it up. You don't have to go back that far.
You did. I think that was back in April, right?
But I just retweeted it about
Recently. I'll find
3-4 days ago. I said something to the effect, when they bring up the kids from SAC in like mass, bringing up several players from SAC, they will start to score runs. And lo and behold, it happened. Now, I did say, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I did not like this team the way they were constructed. And I didn't want them to win because I knew from being a follower of baseball that team was not good. And if they continue to if they won, it would be fool's gold and Farhan would be back. I'm on record. I do not like Farhan Zaidi as the president of baseball operations running the Giants. I don't want him back. I want him gone because, look, this team that is out there on the field, he did not bring these guys up until there was injuries. So you cannot give this man credit. He did not draft any of these players that are up. He did not want them here. Okay, that is not the one.
Is that the one?
Nope.
You want the other one?
Yeah, the other one that says just as a there's another one up there. Look, I don't want Farhan back. I don't care if his guys succeed. I don't think he's the right guy for the job. And
he's not good long term.
No,
he'll have. So if he has one good year every 6 years, is that enough to keep his job?
Look,
like Mad Dog says, he has a lifetime extension.
Yeah,
1 in 6 years isn't good enough. Yes, that's why you have to have young players and roll with them, and know who's going to be on our team for a few years, not just one, because that's the Farhan.
And I'm gonna disagree with Alex Pavlovic here. I saw him talking with that's not the one either. It talks about when they call up guys from SAC.
Hey, Ryan, if you want to hop on, go for it, man.
It's in that area. But I'll say this. What was my train of thought? Where was I going? With Alex Pavlovic. He says, I just want to point out, Matos was his favorite player of the group, and he's the highest on him. But he said, there's red flags. He said, let's just be honest. Matos was not doing well in AAA. Well, you got to know the players. You got to know that Matos was discouraged. He's energized. He's guys, a lot of this game is mental. It's not just getting up there and physical. He was like, when you're just, have you ever been on a job when you don't really, not happy with your employer and you just feel like anything you do good just goes unrecognized and you just feel like, why am I even trying? If I do great, they don't recognize me, and it doesn't matter. I think that's what Matos was going through in AAA. And now that he's up, he's like, dang, I'm going to show him that, there's a lot of guys that actually, have you ever heard of guys that just don't do well in practice and then game day, they're just great?
Yep. It happens all the time.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Mick. I was just going to bring Mick on. He just stepped up.
I think Ryan wanted to come in. He's good to come in too. Hey, Ryan, you want to come in?
Yeah, I was just bringing Mick on after my thought there, but
did you already read it? I didn't even pay attention. Did you read the tweet?
There he is. Just as my, that's not the one I was. It's still not the one I was looking for, but that's okay. It don't matter. It just said something to the effect that the Giants will start scoring runs when they bring up the players from SAC. That was it. Okay. Let's bring in Mick for a couple of minutes. Mick wanted to have some fun with Los, I think. Mick.
Oh.
Mick in the dark.
Sorry, I'm out in my he-head, or not my she-shed like Robert burnt down. But no, I just wanted to say nothing against Los. I sent you a picture on Twitter or X that my wife made for me. I'm married to a beautiful Latina. So just take a look at my shirt. Did you see it?
Good luck.
Okay. Okay. Don't. I've already lost my hair. I don't need anything else to be lost.
So did I.
Anyway, so
we're
that
both
was
married
all.
to Latinas. No coincidence.
Anyway,
they're great, but boy, don't expect your hair to be around for a while.
All right, I'm gonna.
Did you
anyway,
DM me?
No, I just posted on your thing. Anyway, so as far as today, it was funny. I was working and I'm like, blah blah blah, and then I'm like around 1 o'clock. I'm like, oh shit, they played at 9 o'clock in the morning. I tuned in, or no. I looked at the thing on Dan, and he said that Joey Bart, good for him. And I looked at it, he hit a grand slam. And I'm like, you know what? Good for him. And then I saw Alex Pavlovich. It was a Gabe Kapler pork chop review thing, but he said, oh, how do you win series like this? I'm like, what the heck? And then I tuned in on the ESPN app, and they won. So again, in this team, this is kind of sums up the whole Farhan thing. They've been mid.
Eric, come on.
Oh my God! I gotta get out of here, man. I'm out.
You know what?
Hey, I'm just seeing the photo now.
The three amigos. Look at that.
There you go. I love it. Tell her job well done.
As they say, they call me pelón payaso.
What Latina is she? What nationality is she?
Mexican. Actually, born and raised here, like old school. Was here when I call it like the Zorro look. Like if you ever watch any of the old Zorro things about how California and Mexico, that whole thing. Like her family has been here forever. So
nice. Well, props to you, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Lowe's. I mean, Mick. Is it Mick or Mike or Mick? Mike?
Oh, it's Mike.
Okay,
again, that's the Irish, in us.
Okay,
we're not woke and stuff, so we make fun of our own kind, like everybody else, and so like my dad's a Mike, so his brother's a 10 kids of an Irish Catholic family, 5 brothers, 5 sisters, so you can only imagine growing up in Burlingame, where that's a beautiful area, but guess what? You're poor white trash when your dad's a naval graduate and works in the Navy, and so whatever. But anyway, so the whole Mick thing comes from like my dad's brother's call.
I got you.
Sorry, long-winded.
No worries. Hey, Mick, appreciate you joining again as always.
No problem. Thank you again for all you guys. Love you, bro.
Love you, brother.
Hey, how long have you been married to your Latin woman?
It'll be 8 years in August. This
Okay,
is my
8 years.
second marriage. So
Okay,
you
8 years.
You passed the 7-year itch. Good job.
Again, I had no problems with that. I always joked with her that she probably had more of a problem with the itch than I did. So.
There you go. There you go.
All right, man. Hey, good
All
to
right,
see
you guys take care.
Right on,
You
Mike.
too. All right,
All
man.
right, take care.
Later.
Bye.
All right. The R, that it's really not Eric Romo. Eric is one of us. The R is for Rogaine. That is not really Eric's hair. That is not Eric's hair. I guarantee it. I've seen it. I've seen him. It is Rogaine mixed in with a hairpiece. Okay.
Hey,
The real hair he grows is right here. That's all fake hair on top. Eric has been exposed. Wait till he gets back in here. Talk about him just call him Rogaine, everybody. Eric Rogaine.
What was the bet? He has to shave his head if what? What had to happen?
Oh, I can't even remember, but I should have said, forget shaving the head. We're just going to remove the piece. But it's not one of the typical. It's hair transplanted, so it's the transplanted stuff.
Oh, the Bosley.
It's not the kind you can just take off.
No, they glue it on.
Yeah, his is transplanted. It's
just let it go, man. Go bald, man.
He should have just went bald, but he went with you
have the darker complexion, so it shows better.
Yeah, he went for the hairpiece. So all right, man. Hey, did I just hit hold on here. Did I hit the magic number on Twitter? Let's see. Ooh, my followers. I've hit over 800. I've topped the 800 mark. Wow.
Controversy attracts people.
Yeah. I've been blocking. I blocked a guy today, man. I don't have time for the haters anymore. I used to engage him. Now, forget it. What happened to Eric, man? I think he okay, when he comes back, I'm going to say, how did everything? Here we go.
While Eric's gone, what about a quick 49er opinion?
Yeah, what's going on with the Niners? It's OTAs right now. McCaffrey's not there, getting married, I guess, right? Ayuk's not there. I imagine he's not there either, right?
No, this is kind of becoming, I think, equivalent to the Bulls' last dance. This is going to be the last real opportunity for the Niners to win a Super Bowl. They're gonna pay Purdy a ridiculous amount of money, and I know they're good about moving money and backloading it. You can only do that so many times. If I'm CMC, I am a little bit disturbed because he just won Best Offensive Player of the Year for the whole league. He is the best offensive player on the team, and if Ayuk gets paid, he will be the 6th highest paid player on the team after when Purdy gets his. Ayuk, Debo, Trent Williams, and Kittle will all make more money than him. And I know CMC is a team guy, but the life shelf of a running back usually starts disappearing right around age 29, 30.
Mm-hmm.
If the Niners lose CMC, I don't care if they have everybody else that we just mentioned, their offense will drop down significantly. I think he probably wants to.
Hey, Eric, everything come out all right?
Yeah, everything great.
Good to hear, Eric. That was a long trip for coffee.
How did the hair club go?
Well, we were asking. People were wanting to know that you left that R up there for a long time, and people in the chat are now calling you Eric Rogaine. They know that's not your real hair.
Oh, Balco boy, isn't that what you used to call me?
Well, Balco boy, yeah, but I'm sorry, I kind of slipped and it kind of slipped out that's transplanted. So I didn't mean to tell your story, but it's out now. It's, So Eric has I don't know, transplant. It looks real. It is real hair, but it's all grooved into the scalp. So
grooved in. Okay.
yeah, grooved in, man. It's sewn in.
Come on in, Ryan. Come on in.
Yeah, Ryan was in. He's going to come back in. So I think he's got a trade for us.
A trade.
I think he's got a trade proposal. Hey, did Mike show up tonight or Matt?
I haven't seen Mike or Matt in the chat.
I haven't seen Mike. Wow, look at that response.
Yeah, we're going to try to get Vince on after the New York Mets series. There's Ryan. I'm going to bring him in.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
Hey, what's going on? Just some quick questions for you guys today, especially with Los in here. So the first one I had, first I'll go with the lineup question, and then I had a trade question too. So with the lineup question, like obviously we've seen, Conforto in the dugout and then Slater too. So I'm like, with Slater, I'm honestly a little bit confused because like he had a concussion a while ago. And I know concussions are a little bit weird, but he's been in the dugout for a minute now, not just since this road trip. So I'm a little bit confused what their plan is with Slater moving forward. And I think what they've kind of been doing, just like based on, what I've seen the team do in the past, is it looks like they're kind of just giving Ramos and, obviously Matos, Farhan already said it looks like he's kind of in center with the Lee injury, but it looks like they're kind of just seeing, how well the, Ramos, I think, is playing to see, maybe I think with Slater, but with Conforto, I think as soon as he's ready to go, I think they're going to probably play him, especially because he's been, playing pretty well. So just wanted to think what you guys thought about with, the Slater and Conforto additions, because they do seem like they're healthy if they're like traveling with the team and whatnot. And then also what you guys think happens like when Ahmed comes back, because those three guys are not as long. Because I know with Murphy, that's like Larry's the 60 in here. Day. Oh yeah, and then that's actually funny. That was my second question.
Up, Larry.
It's the Vladdy Jr. question.
Larry, I should send him the link just to throw him.
Yeah, send him the link for sure.
Yeah, go for it. I'm all for having Conforto. Get rid of Slater. Just get rid of him. Yeah. I think having Conforto, Matos, and Ramos as your outfield, you got that veteran leadership in Conforto.
Yeah.
And you got the youth of Matos and Ramos out there. I think that works well. Right. And right now the infield, Chapman, Luciano, Estrada, and Wade.
Yep.
That's the bad.
What about with Yaz and Ahmed? Just kind of have them on the bench for like
defensive replacements.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sorry, but that's where they're at right now.
I definitely agree with Ahmed, and I think with Yaz especially too. He just seems so streaky. I know he had a couple, he's had a couple of good years for us, but he's super inconsistent, especially with the strikeouts. Like when he's hitting, he seems like he hits well, but when he's not, it's not like he's even putting it in play. It's like just 3, 4, 5 pitch at bats, and it's not super competitive. I think even today we might have seen the writing on the wall because they pulled him out in like the 5th or 6th inning, and they put in McKenna, but McKenna never even hit, and then they subbed in someone else for him, and so
Flores, or was that yesterday?
No, that was today. So they put in McKenna, but McKenna.
Oh yeah, Flores came up and knocked in the tying run. Yeah,
exactly. So with that, I was like, are they kind of already putting the writing on the wall that Yaz is like kind of on a short leash? I was thinking because especially the last few games. What was it yesterday? He had 4 strikeouts or 3 strikeouts, and I know
4 and 5.
Yeah. So I think.
I mean, those guys you mentioned. Like I said, their best skills are defensively. So it's not so quick to get rid of them on the roster because they do add and can bring something to the team defensively late. So I think the better question is like what do we think they're going to do? What do we want them to do? And what are they going to do?
Yeah, so that was my other thing is what do you guys just think they're going to do? Because, I think Conforto, it looks like I don't know if it was Alex Paljavis or whoever it was on NBC, but they basically said he's like coming back in the Mets series. They didn't know what game, but that, he was planning to come back.
My gut tells me that they're going to find a way to keep Slater on the roster. And it may not be one of the guys that we all want to stay up going down, but it may be Luke Jackson. Maybe it's a McKenna, but they're going to find
McKenna's gone.
Yeah, they're going to find a way to keep Slater. I mean, I don't want it. You know how I feel about him.
Yeah, no, I'm with
They're
you.
going to find a way to keep him on, give him one last opportunity to make an impression, and if he doesn't, then he might get cut.
You know what? You send
later.
Ramos down at any point for
That's
Slater.
not a good look.
It is a bad look, and
it's going to be.
It could look. The team's playing its best baseball in 3 years.
Yep.
Just
honestly,
don't
the
mess
only
with
person,
the chemistry.
Honestly, the only person I really want to see inserted back, and I kind of like hate to say, it's almost been like
Don't say Ahmed. Don't say Ahmed.
No, I was gonna say Conforto is the only.
Conforto. Okay.
Yeah,
I feel like he's kind of the only person.
I'm fine with Conforto. Just move Ramos over to right field and leave Yaz as a,
didn't they have Ramos in right the first couple of games he was playing, and that's where he had those throwouts, right? Those
where he had the assists.
And that was in San Francisco too, if I recall. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
let me answer this question here real quick, guys. Larry's got a question. Giants need to trade for Vladdy. What do I think? Vladdy could be I like the infusion of. Let me just tell you what I believe. When you have a group of guys that have passion for the game, and the Latin players do, and you put them together and they start meshing together, it can synergize, energize a team. As we're seeing now, you add Vladdy, who's having a tough year. You can move a guy, someone down for you can put Wade out in right field if you put Vladdy at first base. You can move now you've got an issue. You can also trade Conforto and bring you a middle reliever, and now you can put Ramos in left.
How about this, Dan?
Or you get rid of Soler and you
get rid of Soler, make Wade your DH, and put Vladdy at first base.
That's what I was thinking too. Is you somehow get rid of Soler at the trade deadline?
You want to talk about
So I feel like someone would still bite on Soler, like a contender who's like, oh, we can, have a Brave type run. He could, run it back in the playoffs. I think maybe we have to eat a little bit of his salary, maybe this year or whatnot. But I feel like someone, could bite on Soler. And
what is Conforto's numbers versus left-handers this year?
Oh, look.
I know he has 4 home runs against left-handers because I was looking at it the other day. I forget what his average was because I remember someone in the chat was talking about how the platoon this year hasn't really added up like that well because Chapman's hitting, has a lot of power against righties, but the average is so it was kind of funny how a lot of the guys who usually are platoon guys have actually been doing pretty well. Same with Wade against lefties. He's been hitting lefties all right this season. And has I think he's been getting a little bit more opportunity lately. We've seen.
Against left-handed pitching, Conforto is batting .316.
That's actually
right-handed,
really good.
.267.
Reverse splits a little.
That's
bit.
That's almost.
How many at bats versus lefties?
How many at bats versus lefties?
18.
38.
38. That's
how many home runs?
3 home runs against lefties.
You know what?
4 against
that's
righties.
not a bad sample size.
That's not
you know
bad
what?
At all.
Hey. I felt
I would do it.
Conforto would have a bounce back year. I mean, I'm not
280 on the season.
I mean, he's not here for the long haul, I don't think. Yeah. But you know what? Conforto's a professional hitter. He's got pop. He's got pop.
We've been asking for a long time to have a set lineup, more or less, every night, no matter who's pitching. We've been asking for that. And if you have Wade, Estrada, Luciano, Chapman, Conforto, Matos, and Ramos. It doesn't matter who's pitching. That's your everyday lineup, and Bailey. And then you sprinkle in Flores here and there, and then you sprinkle in Yaz here and there.
Man, the more I think about this, can you imagine? Okay,
that is your everyday lineup.
Your everyday lineup can be. And I'm just going to go in order of outfield to infield and DH. So you got Conforto, Matos, Ramos, Chapman, Luciano, Estrada, Vladdy at first. Hold on. Your catching is Bailey, and I would stick with Casale. Get rid of freaking Murphy if you can.
Oh, yeah.
And then your DH, platooning between Wade and Flores.
Get
rid of Soler.
Vladdy is having a down year, but his upside and what he's done in the past is
How
huge.
old is he?
He
He's
will.
like, what, 25, 26, right?
Vladdy would cost a lot.
What about Bo Bichette? He's on the last year of his deal. I know it'd be a little more crowded at shortstop with Luciano, but I mean, he might be a little easier to get because they've been having like arbitration disputes with him the last few years, and I know he's on his last year.
I like Bo Bichette. He's not
I like
having.
Bichette.
What about a reunion with Gosman too? I mean, I just know the Blue Jays in general. They've already came out and said like they're selling basically.
Gosman would be my first choice
because our starting pitching's a little thin.
Gosman would be my
first.
Gosman would be my first choice of any of those players, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Because the Giants are going to hit a wall in the summer when it comes to pitching.
I'm worried about Hicks.
You got Hicks and Harrison who have not pitched a lot of innings. And, you know, I think you've got to get more pitching. And you don't know if you're even going to get anything, if you're going to get anything out of Snell. Are you going to get Cy Young Snell, or are you going to get what the Snell we've been seeing? He has a history of having some off years between a couple of great years. Here's a couple of my other thoughts. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on Soler right now, and I'll tell you why.
That's fair.
It hasn't even heated up yet, the weather. I know we're in San Francisco and it's cool, but when you get on the road and it starts getting warm and humid, some of those balls that are landing on the track right now are going to go out.
You know how hot it was in Pittsburgh?
It was 85 today.
In the 80s. Did he hit one out?
He hit one to the wall, didn't he?
Yeah,
it was on a bounce. It was on a bounce. It was a good hit. It was like,
and then he hit one to the wall. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday.
I'm just saying we're May 23rd, guys.
Give him some time.
We're 1 games into the season, 52, whatever it is.
51, yeah.
Okay. There's still 111 games to go.
Yep.
This guy, when he gets hot, he can carry a team for a week or two. I mean, he basically was the World Series MVP, won the Braves the World Series. You don't just throw in the towel for a guy like that. A guy like Soler is a guy you want to have in a series like the playoffs if you make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, that's fair.
I don't want to just throw in and get rid of him. And Senior, I disagree with you on Vladdy for Luciano. I don't know if you guys watched Luciano take second and third base today.
That was great. That was great.
But guys,
amazing.
That's not just speed.
There's some IQ in there. There's some IQ.
That's understanding game intelligence and having the aggressiveness to go. I guarantee you, if Nick Ahmed was on there, he would be sitting on first base along with several of the other Giants. Luciano didn't hesitate. He took off and he went for it. You know what he reminded me of doing that? He reminded me of a little bit slower, not the speed that Ellie De La Cruz has, but the guts, the tenacity. Gosh, the Giants haven't had a player like this since Bonds before he was on roids. I mean, Barry Bonds, when he was in the 90s, he was like an unbelievable base runner.
40-40.
Yeah. So you don't want to just give up on this. He's 22.
No, I like Luciano.
He's 22 years old. Don't get rid of this kid. I don't know why people, just because he's had a couple of errors in the field, give him shot. The guy is a game difference maker. You saw that steal. He didn't steal, but he took second and third on a. It wasn't even a wild pitch. It was a dropped ball.
If you listen to most Giants fans, out of the three, they're most down on Luciano for sure.
Because
he plays a premium position. 1, 2. He comes after the most popular best shortstop in Giants history in Brandon Crawford, who was a complete vacuum. That's not easy to come after. I'm not saying it's right or fair. I'm just saying that's why they're kind of down on him. And then 3, they saw what Ahmed can do, and he's got a good glove, but he doesn't have a good arm. You know, he can't make certain throws from the hole. You know, everybody's just like, he has a good glove. He has a better glove. But Luciano has a better arm. So when you have those close bang plays on a double play,
Better
Luciano
arm,
will get
better
it there.
offensively.
He'll get it there and get an out. And he also has more speed than Ahmed. So he will factor in that. So there's a lot of different ways you can help a team win a game. And
Absolutely. I'm fine.
Luciano offers you more ways to do it. I'm sorry.
I'm fine with Ahmed as a defensive replacement late
too.
in the games when the Giants are, have a lead and you need that defense. But we saw you're not going to score if they go back to the old lineup in April. They're just not. Let's bring in. Well, go ahead. What do you got there?
Who is that? And who would you rather have?
Who is that?
And it's over to since 2022.
I would go with the guy on
the left.
Left for sure.
Guy on the left, huh?
Yeah. I was just double checking that it was like a fair amount of play.
Any guesses? Any guesses?
No, hurry up. Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my God.
Yeah. All
So
right.
who's a better hitter? Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right. We bring in the man, the legend, the one and only Larry
Okay.
There he is. There he is. Where's the music? Where's the music? All right, Larry.
I'm getting a real glare right now off Lowe's head.
I got to turn the light off.
How about mine?
Is there? Yeah, Danny's is really shiny, but that's more. I'm getting it more on the backside. Lowe's, I'm getting it really just coming right at me.
Oh, you're right below me, man. Move Larry over. So he's not.
You know what?
Danny, can you move me?
I don't want to blind my guy.
Eric, can somebody move me?
Yeah, I was about to hop out, so you'll move anyways. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, Ryan. Good to see you, man.
Hey, appreciate. Love the show too, Larry. Always watch it. It's great.
Thanks, bro.
All right. Hey,
wow,
you know what?
That was a quick exit.
I think we can do.
You felt intimidated, man.
I'm going to work on a.
I'm out. I can clear a room like nobody's business.
I'm going to work on a sponsor. I think we can get the hair club as a sponsor, man. Look, I really do. We should be able to get the hair club.
We got the befores, but where is Eric?
Eric's our after, man. That ain't real, Larry. That ain't real. Look at that. That is a hair piece. If I've ever, that is the stuff that the hair club. That is the.
I use Rogaine.
You guys, it'd be hilarious if you guys could get your faces right in the center of the screen, and you could, and we could actually see, and we could be like, we could put on there, like Eric could put before and after, and then get your faces where it almost looks like you're the same person. And then it's like you go from what Danny's got to what Eric's got. And hey, man, it's like wall-to-wall carpet.
Oh, man.
You know it.
Man,
we're all getting there. We're all getting there.
Yeah. So, man, the Giants.
We came into this world bald when most of us will probably check out of this world bald.
I know I will.
Well, I don't know, dude.
Kind of staying on this topic. I'm very curious to hear this. What do you guys think about this myth about wearing hats, and does it contribute to you getting bald? Yay or nay?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I had to wear hats all the time when I was in Air Force.
I don't know. I'm starting to kind of believe it. It kind of does lead to it.
It's a gene that comes from your mother's father.
Yeah, it's a mother's side.
So if your mother's father was bald, then you're going to be bald, most likely.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was really young when I met my grandfather. I don't recall.
You remind me of that robot from Lost in Space.
Yeah, but whatever. Yeah.
Up next, what is the fastest land animal? I'm saying the cheetah.
That would be correct.
The cheetah. I would go with the cheetah. So what's going on, boys? Giants. I'll say this. Isn't it funny how baseball's awesome. Baseball's easily the best sport. Because baseball season is like, you could be like, I don't care if I ever watch one inning of that again. And then you're like, I can't watch enough of it. And in the same season with largely the same team. That's kind of, I feel like, where I'm at with the Giants right now. It's like, beginning of the year, I mean, just a lack of offense, the inability. I mean, forget beginning of the year, up until like 10 days ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And going with Matos has always had huge talent. He, to me, for old school guys, he reminds me of at the plate of like George Foster in the 70s. If you remember George Foster, in that he just had those awesome wrists and he just flicked the ball out. And even though he was skinny, he had huge power. And this guy's got big power. He's got huge throwing arm. He's got talent in the outfield. I mean, he's not perfect, but the guy's got major thunder in the wrists, doubles, homers, triples. I mean, he's terrific. And I mentioned it at least on one of the shows in the offseason that there was a chance that Matos might be what they're paid for in Lee. They paid a huge amount of money for a center fielder with athleticism and power and speed and dynamic, and they may get that, but it may be Matos.
And we had him all
Lee's
along.
not. I'm not. This is not an anti-Lee thing. I also was super impressed by Lee. The price tag is the only thing on Lee that made no sense, and that was my point originally. And I have to stay with that. $19 million for Lee was ridiculous overpay. But Matos, Matos looks good. Danny, I was down there last spring and did the interview in the clubhouse with Ramos, and I've been rooting for Ramos ever since.
Absolutely.
I mean, Ramos is a dude. Marty, I've talked to Marty before, and Eric, I'm sure you've talked to Marty about this too. Marty, so I said, give me somebody that Ramos reminds you of. He's like Willie Mays. And it sounds crazy, but, big, athletic, fast, dominating player with power, speed, arm. I mean, that's Ramos, man. I mean, they're playing him in left, but he's got a right fielder's arm. He's just got a total hose. He's got big power. He can hit the ball the other way. He's getting better as a hitter. And I know that he had adjustments to make and this and that, but I heard you say it before I caught on, Danny. I think I was listening a little bit. I flipped on. I saw you pop up on Twitter, Danny's live. So then I'm like, oh, I got to check that out. You're talking about sending Ramos down. You can't send Ramos.
No, I'm not saying send him down. I'm saying
I know, but I mean, you bringing up that topic. It's like that can't even be a conversation. I mean,
we are talking about Farhan though, who does everything kind of.
I know. I mean, if Ramos goes down, I mean,
oh, you're going to have a Bay Area
warm
uproar in the media. It may
warm the complex.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
It might
fans rise up.
His job. It might be Farhan's job if he did that, because people would be just livid.
And Luciano's going to make errors, but you're going to have to roll with it. That guy's got thunder in his wrist as well. He's another guy who's he's going to be awesome. I mean, all these guys are going to be good. Just go with them. Just stay with it.
Yes. Stay with. Did you see Larry him take second and third today when Bart just had the ball pop out of his glove and roll away just a few feet? He just took off late in the game, took second, third, and then he scored, which became wasn't he? No, he wasn't.
That's what it tied it up, I think.
Yeah,
it was, but. That's just instincts that the kid has. And at 22, he's only going to get better. He just needs to develop. And look, if he's not the shortstop of the future, don't get rid of him because you don't believe him as a shortstop. Make him a left fielder.
Yeah, make him hit.
He's going to get better as a hitter. Make him a left fielder.
He's young. He's young. But I mean, you could see it there. I mean, he's got the tools, the bat speed, the build to just get, he'll figure it out. He's going to be I would say he looks like a 25 home run.
Oh yeah. How about this? How about this, Larry? We were talking about Vladdy as a first baseman. How about if Luciano's not the future shortstop of the team? How about converting him to first base? That's a power hitting position, and a shortstop can field first base.
I mean, you would think. I mean, the hardest position in the infield is shortstop, but
right.
Luciano, I don't think has to move off shortstop. Really, I think he could still play at shortstop, but I think his bat is going to be good enough where you can play him anywhere. But his greatest value is when he's at shortstop because it's rare to have the bat. I just think he's a huge talent, and you can just see it. It's like he's a huge raw talent with bat speed and natural hitting ability and balance and just an unbelievable build and strength. He looks like he looks like a guy who could hit 35 doubles and 18 to 25 home runs, somewhere in that range. I mean, he looks good. He's
22.
I love them all right now. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Matos, Ramos, Luciano, all three of those guys are.
He's talking
awesome.
about the kids.
These are the guys that I tune in to watch. I really do. Now, I love Soler too, and I was a big advocate for him, and I won't pretend. And a lot of people, I think what your question was coming in was like, why are people, critical or this and that? I think it's like, people are creatures of the moment. So, I the other day I was saying that I think with you guys that Casey Schmidt, I would have stayed with Casey Schmidt and not gone with Chapman, used the money we talked about this 20 times, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Chapman hits a home run, that day, of course, I'll get 5 people. You said that. You're the guy who said, Casey Schmidt, Chapman just hit a couple bombs. It's like, all right, Chapman hasn't hit over 250 in 4 years, and they're both great defensive players, even though Chapman's far the greatest. I mean, that's obvious. But I'm glad they have Chapman, but I'm just saying they could have spent that money on another way to get better on this team offensively. But they had the connection with Melvin, and they wanted him. And he's a good fit, and when he's hitting the ball, I mean, he might be one of the best players in baseball because what he gives you with the glove.
Absolutely. When he's hot, he's
like the best player in the game almost.
That's what I said tonight. I said this weekend, if you just watch these last 4 games, you'd think Matt Chapman's the MVP of baseball because
Gold Glove, third baseman, perfect. He's the most perfect defensive player I've seen. I mean, maybe you say Ozzie Smith or who are the most perfect defensive players ever? Darren Lewis with the Giants one year was perfect. But I mean, there's very few perfect defensive players.
He's
Brooks
better.
Robinson.
You appreciate him more when you watch him every day than just seeing highlights.
He's just amazing. I'll tell you what's really amazing because we all watch the game so close. It's amazing on every ground ball, whether it be a rocket to his left, to his right, he's charging. He has this crazy ability to pick the ball clean off the ground and then immediately get into this like perfect middle throwing area. He's never high, he's never low, he's never off to the side. He's always like perfectly square and then just throws an absolute strike to first base like all the time. I mean, he's literally an instructional video on how to play. Yeah. And it's from what amazes me. It's all amazing. But the glove hand to throw hand and the balance and the perfection of that, to me, easily the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. We all mentioned that we all noticed and saw the natural God-given talent of the 3 young guys. And I would just keep asking the question, why didn't the front office see this? What were they ignoring? What were they looking away from? How did they not see the talent that these kids had? They're with them. They work with them every single day. They see them. They see them throw. They take an infield, outfield. They see the arm on Ramos and go, oh, my God. They see the bat speed of Matos. Oh, my God. They see the speed of these guys. How can they legitimately tell their fan base they're going to stay down and we're going to keep these other guys up here? And not expect fans that know the game to be pissed off. How could they possibly do that? One thing I can't.
I don't know. I don't know if people should be pissed off, but I mean, it's there. You're right. They were slow on the draw. I mean, part of being a good GM, you want to rip Farhan. Part of it's evaluating your own what you have. What hand of cards do you have? What do you have in house that you can use? And it doesn't seem like they've been really that good. I think to your point at that. You know what I mean? It's like. You knew what these are all your guys. You've had these guys. You should have known early on in the offseason what you thought you could get from them. Instead, I guess their argument and counter would be like, hey, we didn't want to put too much pressure on the young guys. But the Giants just have this, like, we refuse organizationally, this refuse to rebuild, refuse to embrace rebuilding. And I don't know. And it's a weird thing because I really think the fans of San Francisco are really sophisticated baseball fans.
Yeah.
And if you had a really good plan, they would totally support it. And now that you're seeing some of the young players coming out of the system, people start to see the future. And now you make the investment. to me, this was like a rudderless ship until these guys, took over. And now, I mean, who do you got? Yaz. I mean, nothing against Yaz, but I mean, come on. Wilmer, good guy, but a good hitter, but just not a foundation piece player. Tyro's probably a foundation piece player. Wade's had an amazing. I'll say this: the other thing we don't talk about enough. We don't talk about Wade. I mean, look what Wade's doing right now as far as getting on base, and he's an all-star. He's ripping. I mean, he's a platoon player, but he's more than that. He's becoming more than that. And his on base, the guy swings at like one bad pitch a week. You know what I mean? It's amazing the year he's having right now at the plate. I think he's looked absolutely like mentally perfectly locked in on the strike zone since opening day.
Can Lamont Wade sustain this? He's been with the team since 21? He had a really good 21 season. He was kind of banged up and injured and didn't really perform in 22 and 23. Correct. And now he's playing a good 24. So I think like for a lot of us, it's like the Giants have a lot of like 1 year flash in the pants. And we get all excited and we think, oh, it can be sustainable. So I love what Wade's doing this year. Can he do it for 2 more years, 3 more years? I don't know.
Hey, the question there from
I wanted to get
Will
that.
Martinez.
Yeah. Will says, Krug, would you trade a Eldridge and or Wisenhunt for Vladdy Jr.? I think I'd make that trade.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, I'm not, a pitching guru or anything, but to me, Wisenhunt looked super special. Now, why? And, I mentioned this to Farhan. I was filling in on 95.7 The Game, and I said to him, I said, Wisenhunt's fastball changeup or fastball curveball, whatever is off speed, I think it might be a change.
It's a change.
Yeah.
His fastball changeup combo is so ridiculously dirty that it's just like it's like Houdini or something, it's the exact same arm motion, not similar, the exact same. It's super deceptive. So he called it Farhan said he's got a Bugs Bunny changeup. And that's really what it is. It's like he can pull the string on you and make it look like you're in Little League. So I think Wisenhunt is super special. I would not trade him. I think he's right. I don't know if he's got a third pitch, but the 2 pitches that I saw from the same motion are so dominating that he could be a great pitcher.
Here's an issue, because I think the issue is going to be right now is the Giants starting pitch. You got 2 rotation spots right now that are, Snell, he not impressive. I don't know what you want to call the win.
Well, first 3
Black
innings were right. Didn't he strike out 5 in the first 3 innings?
Something like that. But his command just isn't there.
Yeah,
right
well, that's who he is. It's like command wanders.
And that may come back and bite him, because right now
your fifth spot is just non-existent right now.
It's non-existent with Black, Roop, or whoever. Win
you can't count on. Black is not ready.
So who's the next guy up? Who's the guy that's going to fill that spot?
My biggest concern is not right now on May 23rd. It's August 2nd, August 3rd, when Jordan Hicks has pitched way beyond his innings that he's ever pitched. And Kyle
he's already losing velo, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he was sick, they say, last time he was throwing up. Who knows? We'll see what the next start looks like here on Saturday in New York. But he's going to reach his innings max, what he's used to, going 75. His goal's 130. Well, yeah, my goal was to be a big leaguer, and I didn't make it. I don't think you're going to get to 130 innings when you've only ever pitched 70 in your major league career. I mean, you're going to practically double your innings production and be effective.
I mean, I can't, outside of Billy Swift in Giants history, I don't remember get the reliever, make him a starter that worked out really good. That was he did.
Well, Billy
but
Swift
he was very
Billy Smith relied on a lot of off speed.
He had a nasty sinker. He was
nasty. He was nasty. He was a great
most
pitcher.
Pitchers who go from starting pitching to a reliever. Eckersley, John Schmaltz, Who else went?
Yeah, because you can shorten up and get more power stuff, and that's going
It's
the
not
other way
around.
Yeah, that was the big question that we didn't talk about specifically, but we probably, it's like we're going to find out here. Is like, how's his stuff going to ramp down over the bigger innings load? And we may see it. I mean, and can he survive as a, good starting pitcher that can go 7 if he's not throwing, his high 90s gas, 100-mile-an-hour gas?
Yeah, he's having to conserve himself, obviously, because he's not throwing that 100. I mean, this is the man that threw 103 mile an hour consistently, 101 to 103, every outing he would go in and pitch, whether it be the 8th or 9th inning with St. Louis. It's like, oh my goodness, look at this guy. He's so filthy, nasty. But that's, I think, his, you can't knock what he's doing. He's done a great job as a starting pitcher. But again,
he's really, really good. It was a great pickup. It's just a matter of,
can he?
I agree. I mean, I think in the best interest, if you want to say what's the best, look at this like a horse race, right? We just watched the Derby and the Preakness. I mean, look at Melvin as the jockey on this horse. What's the best trip here? It's like you're trying to get to the middle of the year. You get Cobb, you get Ray, and hopefully at that point you flip Hicks and win into your bullpen. You give them a smaller workload to ease them off innings wise, and really you could have a powerhouse pen the rest of the summer. I think that's then it's just a matter of can you get some early runs and get some leads? If you can, with the kind of pen that you may have, if Ray and Cobb come back and you've got that depth, could be really, really good, right? You could go on a run if you could score some runs. So I said go get Vladdy. Because I read today that Toronto's shopping Vladdy and Bichette.
I hear Vladdy's like the Giants are.
Giants were one of the top teams for Vladdy. I don't know if it's the rumor mill, if it's credible or not.
Giants are to the top 3 for everybody.
But I mean,
this
would be. This is the guy to go get because probably the value's a little down. And there's no reason for it to be, and he's going to be great for a long time. He's
not doing bad. Batting 279, 4 home runs.
What?
Guys, people will be walking around with Vladdy jerseys, and what's that?
Yep.
When's the best time to get a guy, Los?
When he's down. Buy low, sell high.
Buy low, sell high.
Very simple philosophy that we all learned in high school, including St. Ignatius. Buy low,
right.
sell high.
Go Cats. Get them Cats.
I'm always going to dig at Larry on that. You know that.
I don't know how that's a down year. He's batting.
Where'd you go, Los? Where'd you go, Los?
Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart. Okay.
Isn't that a girls' school?
No. St. Ignatius was kind of known for being a little. I think we call them the cherries. Larry knows. We called them the cherries back in the day, right?
Here we go.
Look at Los.
SH is the oldest fact rivalry, high school rivalry west of the Mississippi. Fact goes back to the 19th century.
SH was a great school for those people who didn't get into SI.
You say 19th century, Los? Yeah, great baseball players back in the 19th century.
I mean, and that gave them, it really was a great service for, so many people who didn't get into SI that there was another, Catholic school inner city option instead of, what neighborhood did you live in, Los?
I lived in the Sunset. I should have went.
So you would have been a Lincoln. You would have been a Lincoln guy. You would have gone to Lincoln.
Lincoln, yeah.
So let's settle this argument real quickly here. Let's settle this.
Lowell, that's right, Lowell. You're very.
Yeah. I know my city.
I want to know, guys.
Maybe Lick Wilmerding. There you go.
Hey, I want to know who's the greatest athlete to come out of SI and Sacred Heart, and we'll judge it that way. Who's got the better
Sacred Heart has 2 guys in the Baseball Hall of Fame. One of them is Joe Cronin, and the other one is his name escapes me. So we have 2 guys in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Joe Cronin, okay, that's back.
I'd have to look up.
I was just gonna say you don't like guys.
They're older dudes, so I don't know if SI has a guy in the Hall of Fame or not. I don't know.
Dan Fouts.
Football Hall of Fame, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be baseball. Dan Fouts, okay.
Dan Fouts is definitely a big name. So.
Well, I mean, wait a second. I mean, isn't
Somebody said Holmgren. Did Mike Holmgren go there?
Holmgren, yeah, Holmgren. He was a great coach. I'm blanking on some truly greats. I know.
Wow. So it looks like Oakland has the better school, has the big guys like Frank Robinson.
Gary Payton.
Great athletes came out. Morgan.
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah. Oakland's got a lot of guys.
You got to remember Sacred Heart and St. Ignatius.
MC Hammer.
It costs a little money to go to those schools. Larry, do you know how much? Do you know how much tuition is for St. Ignatius and Sacred Heart right now? Oh my God!
It's more than when I was there.
Yeah, significantly. If it was these prices, I would have went to Lincoln.
They got a lot of cash. The Jesuits, they got cash, man. Those guys can raise cash.
Yes, they can.
Man. So
we both agree on Reardon, though. We both don't like Reardon. So no offense to some Crusaders out there. It was a good rivalry. Three Catholic high schools in the city, all in different parts of the city. It was really.
So what was the big public schools in San Francisco? The ones that
Galileo, home of O.J.
Washington,
Simpson,
Balboa,
Lincoln,
Lowell, Mission,
McAteer.
Where'd Bora go? I wonder where Bora went.
Did he go to school in the city?
He's from the
Russian Hill.
Area.
McAteer is home of a guy named Harvey Pulliam. If you ever remember him, he played for the Royals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent that came out of the city.
Yeah.
Greg Jeffries went to Sarah. I played against him. He was a prick.
Barry Bonds. I mean, Barry Bonds went to Sarah.
Greg Jeffries was a prick. Great player, but he's a prick. Big time.
Greg Jeffries.
He was a touted guy, but he really.
We drove into so the bus rides into Sarah, and we just kind of look over, and there's a 68 Mustang, and his license plate had 444 on it. And we're like, oh, this guy is conceited. Great player though, can't take nothing off of him. I mean, Bonds went to Sarah, so a lot of talent from that school, big time. So yeah, the WCL.
Brady went to Sarah too, right?
WCL before there was Bishop O'Dowd, and before
I think Sarah's got the Bonds and Brady. I mean, that's two of the top legends in all of sports history.
Right.
Yeah.
No, Sarah's got it. I mean, Bonds and Brady, that's
checkmate.
I mean, you're talking
that's checkmate.
Top football player and top baseball player of all time. I mean, in many people's circles, I would put Brady right up there with Jerry Rice as the top player ever to play football. And Barry Bonds is up there with Willie Mays, in my opinion, best baseball player.
Yeah, it's hard to argue.
And
if they weren't, and if they weren't such pricks, it would have been better. But one of the worst bunch of guys ever. I always hated Sarah. So you never liked Sarah.
No, not
nobody liked Sarah. They were probably the most despised team in the league.
Did love the bus trips to Mitty and St. Francis, co-ed schools. So me and Larry can attest when you go to visit the co-ed schools, like, oh my God, this is what it's all about. So Mitty and St. Francis.
Look what we're missing.
Mitty and St. Francis was in San Jose. So.
Now, were you guys was it an all male high school? Yours, but did you have was the female connected next door?
Yeah, we had Cathedral High School, all girls school, a block away.
Oh, okay, because
the juniors and the seniors had classes together.
Because I almost went to De La Salle, but I ended up going to Clayton Valley. But Carondelet is right next door to De La Salle.
You're a Clayton Valley guy, huh?
Yeah, Clayton Valley. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
The 925.
Yeah. Now we know where you're coming from. You're a Clayton Valley guy.
Yeah.
Larry, what's
people ask about Dan? I'll say, yeah, he was. Yeah, I remember he was a Clayton Valley guy. Big in
Clayton Valley. Now it's a charter school now.
He's drinking for free in downtown Clayton. Let's just say that.
It is a charter.
He owns the town.
Hey, yeah, Hunter Bishop. There's another guy that went to Sarah. This guy's starting to pop.
Hunter Bishop went to Sarah. I thought he might went to Mitty. Maybe no.
Chase Broberg in the chat is saying he went to Sarah, or is it a question mark? It's a question mark.
John Madden's out of Jefferson High School in Daly City, and so is the old Rams coach. Name escapes me. His best friend. They grew up in Daly City.
John Robinson.
Yeah, thank you. USC's old coach. Yeah, they're in Jefferson. There was a ton of talent coming out of the Bay Area.
Hey, the Bay Area's had
Oh, you
some
kidding me?
unbelievable,
J.R. Ryder
unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
from Encinal.
Bill Russell and
Veda Pinson.
And Bill Russell and Frank Robinson, didn't they go to the same school, or was it in Oakland?
McClymonds, is that it?
Not sure which one it was.
I think they might have been McClymonds. But yeah, I mean, there's just the great Shooty Babbitt.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Yeah, and there's
DiMaggio was DiMaggio in San Francisco.
Joe DiMaggio.
Jolton Joe.
Get much better than that.
Grew up in North Beach.
Jolton Joe, yeah, that's where original Joe.
You could argue that he was far and away the leader on this list. At one point, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a record. Well, that record, I don't think anybody ever breaks that 56 game.
Or 56.
56 games. I don't see it.
Outside of Willie Mays, in some ways, do you feel that who's the most historic ball player in your mind?
Outside of Mays? Well, we had Dan Schlossberg on the show last week, who wrote the book Home Run King. Learned a lot about Hank Aaron. Didn't realize that Hank. I mean, you look at Hank's
not just home runs.
The guy was numbers wise on paper was as good as Mays.
Oh, awesome hitter.
He had the advantage of playing in the hitter's ballpark.
The RBI king, isn't he?
Yeah, RBI king, and
also another guy with the ridiculous wrists. I mean, and even when he hit the one in Cincinnati or whatever for the was that where he hit the one for the record in Cincinnati?
No, he hit it in Atlanta off Al Downing.
No, but the one that tied it, I think, was in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was in Cincinnati on opening day. I forget. But it was anyway, and he just, he's unbelievable wrist strength, and even you could just see him just even late in his career, and he played for a long time with just ridiculous power and just the ability to flick it out. Just an awesome hitter, man. And as a young player, I mean, he wasn't Willie Mays in center field. He wasn't that kind of a defensive player. Willie was the best because he played center. He was the best. But Hank Aaron was not a bad outfielder. Hank Aaron was a great athlete, in addition to being a great hitter. So, yeah.
All right, let me ask you guys this here. You have a chance to pick your all-time and let's just go modern baseball. I don't want to go back to Eric's
yes, please.
Ty
1920s guys.
Let him go with who he wants.
Babe Ruth? You're gonna really? Babe Ruth?
Give me your all-time, and let's just go three outfielders. Let's not try and go center field, right field. Just pick three outfilders. Give me a DH. Give me a first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, and give me your catcher. And I want a right-handed pitcher, a left-handed pitcher, and a reliever.
God.
Oh my God, Dan!
Give me your top.
For 2 hours.
Oh, it shouldn't take that long. Your reliever is Mariano Rivera. Okay. There you go.
All right.
You're bumming me out right now.
I'll go first. So the guys
I came in here to talk, and now you gave me a project. I got to take out a pen. I gotta do research. I gotta start.
Off the top of your head. I
gotta start diddling my computer over here.
No,
quickly, greatest players ever.
No, all up here.
Off the top.
Oh, in that case, I'm going Chili Davis. No.
Go ahead, Lois. Let's hear it.
Off the top of my head, the outfield is Mays, Clemente, and Aaron.
Okay.
Catcher is Josh Gibson. First base is Pujols. Second base, I do like Eric's pick when I really look at his stats. Roger Hornsby. Damn, shortstop.
Shortstop's a tough position.
It is.
I mean, Alex Rodriguez put up ridiculous numbers, but Cal Ripken. I'm going to go A-Rod. Forget.
All right.
A-Rod? A-Rod's making your team?
At shortstop. I mean, just throw out the roids and all that.
Forget the Roy. Just go with
just straight, just numbers. Third base. God, I always go back and forth. It's either George Brett or Mike Schmidt. I'm gonna go with Schmidt.
All right, who's your catcher? Oh, you said Josh Gibson.
Josh Gibson.
Who's your relievers? Who? Rivera?
That's too easy. I loved Bruce Sutter. He was unhittable.
For a while.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay, who's your lefty and righty then?
Koufax and Gibson.
Okay. All right. Larry, you're up. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let me think about it. Give me talk amongst yourselves for
All
about
right. Eric,
15 seconds.
you want to go, Eric? Go
Okay,
ahead.
here we go. Outfield,
Hi.
Mays, Aaron, Mantle.
Nice.
Okay.
Third base, Will Martinez. He hits it. Third base, Honus Wagner.
Oh, jeez.
Honus Wagner.
Come on.
Honus Wagner.
Yeah, put Honus on the hot corner.
No,
Yeah.
fuck that. I went to a game where he struck out 5 times. And I'll tell you, Honus Wagner, that guy sucked. He played for the Expos. He wasn't very good.
Shortstop, I'll go with Cal Ripken. Second base, I'm gonna go Joe Morgan. First base, I'm gonna go Lou Gehrig. Catcher, Johnny Bench. Reliever, go with Hoffman as your righty. As a lefty reliever?
No, just a reliever. One reliever.
Oh, just okay. So I'll just go Hoffman. And then what you said, a lefty righty starting pitching?
Yeah.
Where do I want to go? Tom Seaver and Randy Johnson.
Okay. Not bad. I guess I'll go then. We'll wait for Larry's. Outfield.
Larry's got to write it down.
Outfield. I'm going Mays, Bonds, and Aaron. Oh, we didn't do a DH. Who was your DH, Los?
Oh, I didn't do DH. I'll have to come back to that.
All right, my DH. I'm gonna give you a little. It's gonna be a little bit of a. You're not gonna think of this guy as a DH, but I'm gonna put Ricky Henderson because I want him in my lineup, as I love speed. He's my leadoff hitter, so Ricky Henderson will be my DH.
My DH is gonna be Stan Musial.
Okay. And my outfield, I said, okay, I got Bonds, Mays, and Aaron. My first baseman is, oh, gosh.
Will Clark.
I'm going to.
Will Clark.
Rich Murray.
No.
David Green.
Come on. How about Ed Goodson over at third base?
Hey, we could go all Giants, man. I could go
Enos Cabell.
All right.
Dan Dreesen.
Danny
Yeah.
Dreesen.
Al Oliver.
My catcher is Mike Sadek. Gosh. Okay. My first baseman. I am drawing a blank. Ed Kranepool. No. Gosh, who can I put at first base at Los? I like your Pujols because he's 700 homers. Hard to argue with that in the 300 average. Yeah. So Pujols. Pujols at first. Second base. That's a guy that I'm going with Pete Rose. Second base. Pete Rose at second base. Shortstop, I'm going to go with Ripken. And third base, just to be different, I'll go with George Brett. Catcher, Johnny Bench. And my reliever, Mariano Rivera. And my lefty, I'm going with – I would love to go – I think I'm going to go Koufax, even though it was short period. Kind of have to – I mean, Johnson was – more long-term. And my righty's going to be a little different. I was going to go with the dominating Gibson. I'm going to go with Greg Maddux.
Nice. I'm going to change from Musial to Bonds. I can't ignore Bonds. Bonds has got to be on my team as a DH. Jesus. That's.
I put him in the outfield. I guess I could make him the DH and put Ricky in left field, but you know what? Ricky's on my team.
Okay, I think I got this down. Okay.
Pete Rose played some second, but he wasn't ideal.
No.
There's just been so many great players that of course there's going to be, what the heck.
Oh yeah.
But here we go. This is what I'm going with. I'm going with first base. Willie Mack.
I love it.
I'm going Willie Mack.
I love
Mack.
Willie. I thought of him.
Willie Mack is the kid, is the star of my childhood.
Me too.
Watching him, and I can remember my dad going, let's go Mack, and I can just remember looking up at him going, oh man, my dad's really loves Willie Mack. Willie Mack, and then getting to meet him.
My Cubbies was out there in Walnut Creek forever.
And just, getting a chance to talk to Willie a few times, and just amazing.
I love Willie.
Yeah.
Amazing guy, proud. When I think Giants, I really think of him. He truly was a Giant.
He's the only guy that I literally cried when he died.
Oh, the guy was special.
I grew up with Willie was my hero. He was more beloved than Mays because this is what we're talking about with Giants. Willie Mays was a New York Giant, came to San Francisco. Willie McCovey came up in 59 as a San Francisco Giant. This is why, as Giants fans, we want to see Matos and Ramos and Luciano and Schmidt. It's not, you can bring in the Jung-Hoo Lees and you can bring in the Chapman. It's different. It's just different.
Yeah.
It always will be.
Yeah. No, and you're totally right. And that's, but here's my list. Willie Mack at first base. He's undeniable. I got to go with Joe Morgan. I saw the Big Red Machine. He was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Ozzie Smith at shortstop. Ozzie Smith is
the wizard.
One of the greatest forces of nature. He had more range than every shortstop in baseball today times 5. It was like amazing range. So the wizard at short. At third, I'm going with George Brett. George Brett, come on, man. Upper tank at Yankee Stadium. What did he hit? 390 one year?
90.
One year
right?
when I was a kid, he hit like almost 390. 390. No, it was in the 80s, wasn't it?
It was in the 80s.
It was 1980. I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was 80, but it was
83.
It was in the 80s.
I'll find out.
Yeah, he was.
But that was incredible. He was an incredible hitter. Just an incredible hitter. I'm going to second you on the Josh Gibson. If you know your baseball history, Josh Gibson, unbelievable power, unbelievable. He was a force. He was a force, and everybody respected him. So there's no question. Josh Gibson. And then in my outfield, I'm going Willie Mays. And the outfield is the tough one because there's so many damn good outfielders. Yeah. And how do you leave off any of these guys? But I'm going, and I'm trying to think of, I want to win. And so, I'm thinking of trying to winning the game. So these are the guys that I'm going with. I'm going with Willie Mays. I'm going with Oscar Charleston, who,
Negro League,
Oscar Charleston. Buck O'Neill said that Willie Mays was the best Major League Baseball player he ever saw, but that Oscar Charleston was the best baseball player he ever saw.
Wow.
Guy was awesome.
And supposedly he was a Willie Mays-like figure, could do everything in the outfield. So I'm going Oscar Charleston because if you're better, if there's somebody who's seen both and claims that one guy's way better than Willie, come on. Then that guy's, and supposedly this guy was a legend. So there you go. Oscar Charleston, Willie Mays, and my third outfielder, because I think there's true genius and brilliance there, Ichiro. I'm going Ichiro. He's an all-timer. Ichiro. My DH, Hank Aaron. My right-handed pitcher, big unit. Randy Johnson.
Yeah. He's lefty.
He's a lefty. Yeah. My left-handed pitcher. Actually, you know what? I wrote down 2 left-handed pitchers because I also had Steve Carlton too.
Oh yeah, he was great too.
So I would go with one of those 2 lefties. As far as my righty, there's true genius in Maddox. So how do you not go with Maddox? Maddox was just absolutely brilliant. And then out of the pen, if you just want to say, it's like, who's the best? Mariano Rivera's the best.
Yeah.
But then, he's a one pitch guy and he was just awesome. But like in some ways, Bruce Sutter was more automatic in his day. and he pitched for a lot of. He was damn good for the Cubs, damn good for the Cardinals.
That's
Bruce Sutter was just nasty, and
Trevor Hoffman was pretty consistent for a long time too.
Trevor Hoffman definitely, but he fooled people thinking he was throwing gas with his big music and all of his motion and everything, and they just kept pulling the plug on that changeup. He used to throw 95 when he first broke in. He threw 95, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's Quisenberry. He was just ridiculous for a while. Tekulve,
both side
was there's been some really, really good. Lee
Tyler
Smith,
Rogers.
Mitch Williams was incredible for a while there. I mean, there's been some great ones.
Will ruined him. Will Clark ruined Mitch Williams.
Yeah, Mitch Williams. I would say Mariano Rivera, but I put down Eck. Eck is just.
Oh yeah.
To me, Eck is my favorite professional athlete of all sports, just because he's just the guy has just his life story is just amazing. You know what I mean? And it's just.
Yeah, he really turned his life around. Yeah.
This guy, had his teammate sleep with his wife, and his wife left him for Rick Manning, his teammate. I mean, and then he still was friends with Manning because he wanted to do the right thing for his daughter, and then he battles alcoholism, gets sober, goes to the A's, has this amazing second career from starter. He was a dominating starter when he came up, and then he became this unbelievable all-timer reliever with the A's there, where it was just like, you could literally like just pack it up, man. Here comes Eck, 1, 2, 3, good night. Yep. And he got this. I mean, he was just money. Absolutely money.
I like that pick.
So I
just love the way when he gave up the shot to Gibson. Supposedly he just stood there the whole night and answered questions from the media of, why he threw him the backdoor slider and why Gibson hit it into the bleachers. And he's like owned his moment. There's something that, to me, Eck is really, I don't know. There's something about Eck that's an all-timer.
And the manager of these teams.
Ooh.
I was going to pick Billy Martin, but he'd be fighting with half the guys on my team.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Martin is a great one because he's a genius.
Strategy-wise, nobody was better than Billy. God.
Well, you got Dick Williams was a great manager.
Yeah, Dick Williams a great manager. Roger Craig was a great manager, no doubt in my mind.
Bochy's
Whitey Herzog's one of the great managers.
Joe Torre.
Joe Torre, a great manager.
Joe Torre, maybe.
Casey Stengel.
They say was really genius. And if you look at his career, it's hard to argue. I mean, he won in Boston. He won with the Cubs. He won with the Yankees. Don Zimmer. Don Zimmer's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy seriously, very good baseball man. And Torrey had him on as his bench coach.
Sparky Anderson was a pretty good manager.
Good.
Chuck Tanner. The
Pirates.
Yeah.
Earl Weaver.
That's a good one.
Hey, here's something, guys. We had one player. We all named.
Bruce Bochy
on our team.
Willie
Mays. He was the only player that we all named on our starting lineup of all time.
He's arguably the GOAT.
But I like all the picks. I'm a little on the.
I think my team would win, man. I don't. Ichiro. Ichiro's automatic getting on. Oscar Charleston, Mays, Josh Gibson in the middle of the lineup with Brett. You got Ozzie, Joe Morgan, Willie McCovey. I mean,
it's pretty damn good.
This isn't my team, though.
It's gonna have a hard time. You're gonna have a hard time beating that team.
Look, there we go.
Well,
wait a minute.
Let the chat pick.
All right, listen to my. You should type them out, Eric. Lineups. How are you going to beat this team?
I mean, that team that I got right there is pretty. I'll say this too: the team I got is going to be incredible to watch. Like my team's is going to lead the league in attendance because we're a freaking show.
I'm gonna pick up Gibson off waivers just so he can face Eckersley and Larry in his series.
If we had a league like this, he would be making trades.
I'll give you Bobby Gritch. Okay,
Yeah, Danny would be calling for trades for sure.
Hey, it's Ben. It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
How's this lineup?
Here's Ripken.
Who's going to make an out in my lineup? Leading off, Ricky Henderson. Batting second, Pete
struck
Rose.
out all the time. Pete Rose, the guy never got a hit.
Oh, yeah, 4,191 hits. Never got a hit. Okay. Willie Mays batting third. Hank Aaron batting fourth.
Yep, that's pretty good.
Batting fifth, Barry Bonds. Oh, no, let's put Barry fourth, Hank fifth. We'll split them up. Sixth, I've got George Brett. Seventh, I've got Albert Pujols. Eighth, Cal Ripken. Ninth, Johnny Bench. What the heck? There's not much of a weakness in there.
No, but you know who we all left out? And it's just, do you guys know who we all left out?
I know who we left out. I know exactly who.
Do you know who I'm thinking of?
Ken
What
Griffey.
position? What
No.
position?
No. Number 3.
Roberto
What
Clemente.
position?
Oh,
Roberto.
Lowe's had Clemente.
Roberto's on my team.
Oh, he is on your team?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got Roberto.
Oh, okay.
Babe Ruth. No one picked Babe Ruth.
But we do have Honus
That's
Wagner.
interesting.
But we
No one
do
picked
have
Babe Ruth.
Honus Wagner.
Honus Wagner, baby.
Nobody picked Joe Jackson. Did somebody pick Stan Musial?
Oh, a low score.
No.
You did for your DH.
Yeah, and then I switched to Bonds.
Oh, okay. You know,
Nobody picked Ted Williams.
Ooh.
That's unbelievable.
Ted could hit. Nobody picked Tony Gwynn. And I love
Ted Williams is probably the greatest
Tony
hitter
Gwynn.
ever.
Ted?
I mean, the greatest hitter ever. Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe
He should be on one of our rosters.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God.
I don't know why, Eric, but somehow I'm picturing your third baseman, Honus. I'm picturing Joe Biden down at third base with Honus Wagner.
Do everyone, just because they played back in the day, that means they played when they're old?
I don't
Come
think
on.
I can't picture Honus Wagner on the hot corner.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You know, it'd be more fun than what we just did. Is pick.
Whoa.
You know, it'd be more fun. Pick the worst team ever.
Oh,
the worst team that. How about this?
mean,
You know what I was thinking? How about this? How about the worst Giants team ever?
1985.
No, I mean, who would be nominated for the worst?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
I would say at first maybe J.R. Phillips.
Come on.
J.R. Phillips at first.
Killing me here.
That's a good opening punch. I gotta think.
Second, who is just absolute garbage?
Eddie Murray's brother played for the Giants at first.
Rich Murray.
He was horrible.
But at second base, who's like the worst second baseman in Giants history?
Joe Patini.
I was going to say Joe Patini too.
Guy Soulars.
Joe Strain.
Joe Strain wasn't bad. You know, I was at the game where he went on a Friday night. Friday night, he's trying to score from second on a single. He goes head first into Ted Simmons'
shin guards.
Oh. Separates his shoulder, breaks his clavicle. Major damage. Never really was the same guy after that. I mean, that was he was a done for the year kind of a thing. But I mean, never quite was the same guy after that play at the plate. It was unbelievable. Ted Simmons was just an absolute stone wall.
Guy Soulars is a good one. Second base.
Worst second baseman. I was going to say maybe Kim Batiste. He was pretty bad, like 96.
God, I don't remember that name.
I remember Ed Goodson playing third base.
Joe Patini for sure at short. Patini at short. I think he's got
Patini.
short locked up. Maybe
Patini's worse than LeMaster. LeMaster had a hell of a glove.
LeMaster was
glove.
way better.
Better glove.
LeMaster was like Hall of Fame compared to Patini. Patini though has had quite a career in baseball, right? Because didn't he follow La Russa around? Wasn't he in St. Louis there? He's been in St. Louis, or he was in St. Louis for a long time.
Is he better than Roger Metzger?
Roger Metzger.
He had more fingers. Roger Metzger cut off a finger.
He could throw a good knuckler, Larry.
Yeah.
Never a good sign. When you're not much of a hitter and you play baseball and it's like you lose fingers, that's not good.
my
It's not good.
Yes.
It's been a bad off season.
Oh man.
Third base. Who's third base?
Worst third baseman of all time.
The Giants.
I'm
There's
going
some bad ones before we followed baseball, I'm sure, but the
I'm
guys
going
that
Ed.
we know-
I'm going Ed Goodson for that's a name that comes to mind.
I'm
Third
going.
base?
I'll go Casey McGee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was.
Casey
man,
McGee was pretty bad. Pretty
He
bad.
was bad. Even Tom O'Malley was pretty good.
Who is
Nah.
the
I got the catcher.
in the outfield? I got to go Ricky Leday.
Let's do catcher first down the infield.
Maybe AJ.
I got
Pollock.
the catcher. Johnny Rabb. He couldn't even throw it back to the pitcher. He'd throw it over his head. They probably followed Johnny Rabb when they did the Major League movies about the second one where he couldn't even get it back to the. Do you remember Johnny Rabb, Danny?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Rabb. He didn't play long.
He couldn't throw it back to the pitcher,
Yeah.
and he couldn't hit.
And he
But
couldn't-
besides that, he was great.
Who was the guy that that was running around the bases? And John Miller said, "This is the worst base
Ruben
running."
Rivera.
Ruben Rivera. How about that guy for the outfield?
He's an outfielder.
He was an amazing talent too. He was the Yankees' #1 prospect for years, and he
Aaron
just had
Rowan?
huge power and huge speed, and he just couldn't get it going.
Wow. I don't know. There's
John
been
Miller,
some-
that's the worst base running I've ever seen. You know, it's like,
Hey,
what?
speaking of on the bases, did you guys see the ending tonight's White Sox Baltimore Orioles game? Did you see that?
That's it.
Can we
No.
play that off of Twitter, Eric?
Sure.
I posted it. Are we allowed to put that on with the sound? Steve Stone was going
If you pay it
nuts.
just for a couple of seconds, you're fine. But
They
We got it.
called runner interference. I don't know how the umpire could call this. It was 1 out, men on first and second. Baltimore's up 8-6, infield fly rule, and they call the runner on second. All he's doing when it's popped up, he doesn't know where the shortstop's at, who's behind him. He walks back to the bag, and the shortstop, Gunnar Henderson, has to run around him or move around him, and they called him out, and the game was over.
wow.
Look, pull this up. Just we can erase it, right? If we just wipe it off the Eric, just put it at the 223
We
mark.
got a couple more outfielders to pay.
There's some
Pat Sheridan.
Pat Sheridan.
Pat Sheridan.
Horrible.
Was he the guy that wore the glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awful.
He was. I mean, it's funny how you remember the real
Ricky
bad ones.
Leday was terrible. I remember he just absolutely was maybe the worst Giant of all time. There's another outfielder. Are we talking about just the worst ever, or just like, because the Giants had a guy named Haiti Cruz a long time ago who was
Oh, yeah.
That's
Jose
Jose's
Cruz's-
brother.
Jose
Yeah.
Cruz's little brother.
That's right.
And he had the worst hitch
Yeah.
in his swing. And he was always late on the fastball because of this monster.
Did he go by Haiti or Heidi? I thought he was
Heidi. I
Heidi.
think Heidi.
Heidi Cruz, yeah.
Heidi Cruz.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Heidi Cruz. Also, the other one that comes to mind, almost in like not Giant lore, is Randy Elliott. But he was more of a spring training surprise. But he dropped a fly ball on opening day, and like 3 weeks after he had like a monster spring training, he was like back in the minors.
Randy Elliott.
Never to be heard from again.
Yeah. They should name that award that they give the what's it called? The Barney Nugent Award for
Right.
best. They should call it the I just forgot his name.
Barney Fife.
They should call it the Randy Elliott Award. The guy had the most amazing
They
spring
should.
training of ever. He's like hitting 650 or 700, and he makes the team. He's like some scrub out of nowhere, and the Giants like, we can't leave this guy's off the team. He's like hitting 700.
Right.
And
The Randy Elliott. It should be the Randy Elliott Award.
it should be. It should be.
That's a great point. That is a phenomenal point. I may make that my life's mission to get that to be the Randy Elliott.
Poor Barney.
I
You're
don't
the most
care.
outstanding spring training player, and then be a flub at the big league level. Yeah, that's a good one.
For historical purposes, it should be the Randy Elliott Award. Damn it! And
yes,
there's
it
no
should
doubt
be.
about that.
I cannot remember if Max Venable was better.
No, Max Venable was great.
He was,
He was actually pretty good. And he was really good player, and he was
I like
fast.
Max Venable. He came from the Dodgers organization.
Yeah, Max Venable was a good Giant. I mean, David Green was terrible. Dave LaPointe and Mark Portugal, two pitchers.
What a trade that was. The Giants gave up to
Jack
St. Louis.
Clark for Dave LaPointe, and he just got raked.
David Green. Oh gosh.
David Green.
Jack Clark.
That was Al Rosen that pulled
And this
that
is
trade?
like at a time when they probably, if they knew the Cardinal system better, they probably could have just like said, "Hey, we'll take Willie McGee," and because Willie McGee was coming up, and he wasn't that highly rated. I mean, he was rated decent, but it wasn't like he was like a super heralded prospect. And all of a sudden, it's like Willie McGee. If you've got Willie McGee, he's from the Bay Area. He could have been a stalwart on the Giants teams. Instead, he goes to St. Louis and becomes a great player there. Wasn't he the MVP of the '82 series?
Yeah, I think so.
The Giants couldn't beat Mark Portugal, and that's why they picked him up.
I know Mark Portugal stunk though.
That really, Eric. They picked him up because they couldn't beat him. He always shut him down. Then
I'll tell you another guy that I just could not stand. He was good before he was a Giant, and he was good after he was a Giant, but he was just not very good with the Giants, and that's Melanson.
Oh, Mark Melanson.
Melanson was just
first game he pitched. Madison Bumgarner hits 2 home runs opening day in Arizona. It's like a historic moment for a starting pitcher. Hit 2 bombs and
blew it.
Melanson comes in and blows the save in the game.
How about Armando Benitez? Guy wasn't very good either.
No,
he did okay.
No, he was a big power righty.
Hey, pull that up, Eric. That
I mean,
play.
Greg Minton blew tons of saves. I mean,
the Moon Man.
I'll never forget. Man imploded a lot.
I'll always love Greg Minton, man. I get a press credential. I'm 18 years old. I'm at Clayton Valley High School. My senior year, I get a press credential, and I go in. Dave Bristol's the manager. He invites me into his office. I go in and interview the Giants, and Greg Minton is there, and he says, "Hey, sit down here. Want a beer?" And I'm like 18. I said, "Thanks. I probably shouldn't, but that was pretty cool." Greg Minton asking me if I wanted a beer.
You were doing interviews in MLB locker rooms at the age of 18?
I did one day. I got a press pass, and because we had a radio station at Clayton Valley.
So this is what you're born to do. This is kind of more. That whole moving money around stuff is kind of a front. It's kind of a front for this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, I always wanted to do.
Let's talk more
radio.
about that next episode. Let's get into that.
Yeah.
Peel the onion.
Peel the onion back.
Let's peel the onion, as Jim Harbaugh would say. Yeah, you're not good. I don't want to peel the onion, okay? Seriously, when he would get questions he didn't want to answer, I don't want to peel the onion, all right?
You guys are gonna laugh. I'm gonna name you real quick the 83 Giants pitching staff. Jim Barr, Fred Brining,
Barr, number 33.
Mark Calvert, Mike Chris, Mark Davis, Scott Carell, Sally
Mark
Hammer,
Davis, he was in the big trade.
What year was this?
83.
Yeah,
he was in the 87 trade.
They traded him, and he won the Cy Young in San Diego.
They traded him in 87 with that big Kevin Mitchell trade.
Yeah,
I have a really good memory. Trade. Some of these guys I don't remember. Brian Kingman.
Yeah, I played for the A's.
Yeah.
Pat Larkin.
Yeah, no. Barry's brother. No.
This one makes me laugh for some reason. Randy Lurch.
Randy Lurch was a Philly.
Randy Lurch. I remember Randy Lurch.
Long hair. Randy Lurch was a Philly. Long-armed righty, I think.
Larry, you'll love this one. Randy Martin.
Remy Martin.
Rennie Martin.
Yeah,
Rennie Martin. Yeah, I remember
he
him.
was with KC.
The
too.
Royals. He was with the Royals.
Yeah, he had a big curveball.
He was in the trade with Atlee Hammaker, I believe.
Yeah, he was a Giant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he came over with Hammaker.
Yep.
Rennie,
how can we forget Rennie?
Andy McGaffigan.
Yeah,
Andy McGaffigan, a righty.
Yeah,
had a lot of hope for Andy McGaffigan.
Was Ed
Alan
Blank on that
Folks?
team?
Was Alan Folks on this staff?
Alan Folks was not on that team.
He was a little later, I think.
Yeah, maybe 85, 86. God, there were so many Giant pitchers that had potential.
That was a funny story.
Fred Brining threw what was called in those days a forkball.
Came from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Fred Brining.
And he was a San Francisco guy.
Yeah.
I think he was a Sunset District guy, if I remember.
Yeah, he went to Lincoln. Brining.
Okay, Fred Brining, yeah.
I'll tell you the guy that I used to love watching was Mike Jackson.
He came over from Cleveland in the trade with
Mike Jackson.
Setup guy, wasn't he?
He was like an
eighth inning.
Yeah, kind of an eighth inning guy.
Pitched in that 2000
in the 93
series.
Giants. I think he
pitch in
him
the
and Rod Beck were just amazing in 93.
Yeah, nasty slider.
That whole bullpen in 93 was like Rod Beck, Burba, Dave Burba, Jeff Brantley, Mike Jackson, the Giants.
Dave Burba, that was
the 93 pen. The 93 team was awesome.
Burba was in the trade with Billy Swift, right? For that went to Seattle. Burba came from Seattle with
Kevin Mitchell.
Oh, let's ask Larry. We had a question on the show about a week ago. Best Giants team to not win a World Series.
Oh, I mean, the 93 Giants are one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah.
Look at that team. Will Clark at first, and he had a down year, but still, Will the Thrill. Got hot late. Robbie Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Royce Clayton. Matt Williams. Willie McGee in right. Bonds in left. Darren Lewis in center. They had Dave Martinez was their fourth outfielder.
But you know who got us just as many votes was the 62 Giants.
62.
But the 93 Giants, I mean, I watched that year because I was in college. I had all kinds of free time. I watched that year. I was living in Sac. It was hot as hell. I watched so many of those games just staying inside because it was so hot up there. And the nice AC. We'd go to like bars that were super cold. And I mean, it was just so hot in the summer up there. But that 93 Giant team, they lost 8 in a row and they won 103.
Right.
And so it was the weirdest thing. If you think about it, when your season plays out and you've had an 8-game losing streak, it's kind of a lot. And yet you won 103. So what does that mean? That means like the rest of the year, all you saw was like win. It's like you just won all year. I mean, I remember feeling the last day of the year when the Giants lost to the Dodgers, like, God, this is like one of the best Giants teams of all time. And
why did Dusty go with Solomon Torres?
Best defensive Giants team I've
the
ever
biggest
seen in my
the
life.
biggest mistake that was made that year was that they didn't. I think it was a Quinn didn't pull the trigger on Dennis Martinez for Solomon Torres because they thought Solomon Torres was going to be like Pedro Martinez and he was going to be like this all timer. And they could have gotten El Presidente, who was awesome. And here's the thing: the Giants fell behind the Braves in '93 with like about a month to play, and the Giants went 20 in the final 21. They went 17-4 to force the 1-game playoff. All 4 losses. Solomon Torres starts.
Yeah, it wasn't actually a 1-game playoff. It was game 162. The Dodgers won.
Yeah,
and
game
the
162.
Giants lost. Yeah, well, the Dodgers beat the Giants actually. I mean, and the
that Piazza hit one,
and
to
the Braves and the Braves won the
and
division.
the Braves that year went perfect. Whatever it was, 18-0 or 16-0 against the Rockies.
Colorado. Yeah,
the Rockies could not
win
bad.
1 game.
They could not beat them one time. In addition to that, the unwritten story of that year is that Randy Smith, the former GM of the Padres, handed the Braves the division. He traded them Fred McGriff in his prime for Melvin Nieves, Vince Moore, and Donnie Elliott.
Oh gosh.
Where was the commissioner to block that trade?
And there was a fire in the press box in Atlanta the day he showed up. And then the Braves won literally from the moment he showed up till the end of the season. They played 800 baseball.
It was ridiculous.
They won 8 of 10 the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Unfreaking believable.
Giants didn't really blow it. The Braves took it.
It was just an amazing season, an amazing race.
The Giants were up by 10 games.
The Giants owned Philly, and the Phillies were the NLCS. It would have been Giants Blue Jays in the World Series. Now, I'm not saying that the Giants would have beaten the Blue Jays. That was, if you remember the 93 Jays, they were pretty freaking special.
Yeah.
But I think they would have probably lost to the Jays.
Is that the year that
they had
Cito Gaston and
they had Molitor and Henderson and at the top, Hall of Famers.
Joe Carter hit the winning home run, right?
Joe Carter. They were awesome. Dave Winfield.
Jeez.
They had they just had a monster team.
Wow. Well,
Roberto Alomar, right? I think they had Roberto.
Yeah, maybe they have Sandy too. No, who do they? They had somebody else. They had somebody else who was super great that we're not mentioning. But
is Roberto Alomar in the Hall of Fame?
And they had Henke and Ward at the back end. What's that?
Is Roberto Alomar in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, I would say
yes.
Okay.
It would definitely be the 62 Giants against the 93 Giants in a 7-game series for the bragging rights.
I mean, you got
62 Giants had Marichal and Perry, and
they had 5 Hall of Famers.
Billy Swift versus Marichal, game 1.
5 Hall of Famers.
John
how do
Burkett
you go against the
Perry.
62 Giants? But the 93 Giants, if you really look at them defensively,
no doubt,
that was how are you going to beat that? I mean, Bonds was the best left fielder in baseball. Darren Lewis literally was perfect all season. Willie McGee was a great center fielder, and he wasn't even old. He was playing right field just because they had Darren Lewis in center. He was he's probably one of the greatest defensive right fielders in the history of baseball. He was just unbelievable. He had a great arm. He made, so the outfield defense that year was like the most amazing thing of all time. And then you had Will Clark and Matt Williams on the corners with Clayton and Thompson up the middle with Manwaring behind the plate, who was a phenomenal defensive catcher, terrific catch and throw guy. Defensively, that team was that's one of the greatest defensive teams of all time.
No doubt.
That's a team that has the 62 Giants had 5 Hall of Famers: Mays, McCovey, Marichal. Mays, McCovey, Cepeda, Marichal, and Perry. 5 Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
The 93 could, if you wanted to argue, it has. Bonds definitely would be one, should be in. But Matt Williams and Will Clark are borderline Hall of Famers.
Right.
I think Will Clark deserves to be in if you've got the kid from Harold Baines that went in.
Yeah.
Come on.
Baines did have longevity that was amazing.
Longevity. Yeah.
But a guy like Don Mattingly. To me, the Hall of Fame, the longevity part should be a big part of it. But also, if you're like the best player in the game for any period of time, to me, that should put you almost alone in the Hall of Fame. If you're like the best player in the game. Now, even if, that should hold water. For example, guys that are not in the Hall, I don't believe, but I think, had Hall of Fame type careers. Dale Murphy.
Yeah.
Dale Murphy, in the 80s, him and Andre Dawson were the 2 best players in the league. I went to every game. It was like 1979, 1980, 81, 82, 83. Dale Murphy there won 2 straight MVPs, I believe, and was just the awesomest player. Center fielder, big guy, could throw, run, power, hit it out. Just amazing player.
Yeah,
Dale Murphy's really underrated.
Think about this. Dale Murphy's the only guy that I know of, right-handed hitter, that hit an opposite field upper deck homer at Candlestick.
Yeah.
Think about that. About how much.
Well, he would that have gone into the that would have went into the into McCovey Cove then.
Oh, no doubt.
No doubt.
He had incredible.
Anything that went upper tank at Candlestick was going into the Cove.
Yeah.
Man. Right field?
Right field oppo for Dale Murphy. Unbelievable.
Wow. He was ridiculous.
All right, I'm going to say the first guy to hit the first right-handed hitter, here's my prediction, to hit it into McCovey Cove for the Giant is going to be Marco Luciano. He's gonna put one into the Cove if they play him. If they play him, he will put one into the Cove.
Well, if they pick up Vladdy,
Vladdy could hit.
Vladdy hit one out there.
I mean, I mean, you know, here's the one thing, I know pitching wins championships and blah 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 blah, but to me, is it about the destination or is it about the journey? And to me, it's more about the journey than the destination when it comes to baseball. Why? Because it's a daily sport. So I'd almost rather, load up on offensive players so you get to see a better show every night.
Absolutely.
So that you tune in and your team scores 8 runs and has got the bags loaded in the 8th. You know what I mean? Those kinds of games are so much more fun than ground ball to second, strikeout, popped up, 2 runs. The Giants were scoring like 2 runs a game for a while there.
Yeah.
Definitely more entertaining.
You know when you start Nick Ahmed over Marco Luciano?
When there's a power outage and Luciano can't get there.
Here's the time you start a guy, maybe if it's game 7 of the World Series and you're thinking this is going to be a low-scoring game. We're going up against their ace. We need defense. We can't give up any runs. Something like that. But
I don't even know if that's the situation. I don't even know if I would do it then because, what are we talking about? Luciano's a good shortstop. He just is going to have some issues on some of those in-between hops like he had the other day where he gets his hands kind of screwed up or he flinches a little bit. I think you said it the other day on Twitter, or I think maybe I heard you say it, but it's true. It's like the best plan at shortstop should have been the only plan at shortstop, which is play Luciano innings 1 through 6, 1 through 7, and play Ahmed in the late innings for defense. That's
if they're
not
ahead.
that complicated.
Yeah, and that's not going to be every day because they're not going to be ahead every game. So but
that's the way to do it. Give Luciano the ABs and the experience, and then when you really want to tighten the game at the end, now your defense could burn you at any point, but you hedge. You look for the offense. The kid's got a real bat. So it's not like you're saying, oh, well, why is it worth it? It's worth it because he might be one of your real thunder, bats in your lineup. If you can get him some good at bats and get him in a good rhythm, he's got a great swing and crazy bat speed.
Yeah. And to your point about hitting, the Braves had one of the most dominant rotations ever, and they won 1 World Series.
Right.
Dominant rotation.
Glavine, Maddox,
gotta be able to hit.
Smoltz, and
you got to be able to score runs at the end of the day.
Yeah, you got to score. Is it any coincidence the Giants were averaging about 2.5 runs a game for like 2 weeks? The kids come up, and all of a sudden they're scoring 6, 8, 10, 14. Come on.
That's why I'm saying go for Vladdy, because think about it. You add a guy like Vladdy. What's happened so far since opening day that, part of outside of the plan is that Lee's out for the year. So you're a man down in the outfield. You're a little bit short. You're kind of relying on some of these guys to play every day. They're probably going to run out of gas. Right now they're rolling, but I think they could really use a guy like Vladdy to take Wade off first base and put him on one of the flanks, or at least add him to the mix. So you have that much better of a lineup. And then I think you start Vladdy, I think, is the kind of player that would provide energy. They'd score runs. They could lean on some younger pitching because they're scoring runs. I think it's a better show. I think they, they could maybe be dangerous in the playoffs. You never know what they're going to get. Robbie Ray was a Cy Young Award winner. Snell won the Cy Young last year. Maybe these guys can round into form. And you could have a crazy deep bullpen if you could put Wynn and
Hicks
out in the pen with what you have. I mean, Randy Rodriguez, we haven't talked about him, but I mean, his stuff is really overpowering. The kid Miller is a pretty good pitcher too. I mean, the bullpen to me looks pretty good. I know. I mean, I kind of like the way it looks, especially knowing that Wynn and Hicks are probably going to join it at some point. Then you're going to have some overpowering stuff. And, you know, that the Giants might be in a good spot. I mean, I don't know if what it would take. They said it would take the guy from A-Ball, the gigantic first baseman. What's his name?
Eldridge.
Brett Eldridge or Bryce Eldridge. Yeah, Bryce Eldridge. They said Bryce Eldridge and Cash.
I don't know.
Vladdy.
I threw
I would
this
do
out.
it. I would absolutely do it because you know what? The bottom line is Giants prospects don't hit very often. And
Larry, a few weeks back, you were kind of campaigning for Pete Alonso. Would you prefer Alonso or Vladdy?
No, I think you got to be real. Alonso, from what I'm hearing, wants to stay east. So if he wants to stay east, you cannot. One thing, I'm glad you brought this up. You can't put your fan base through another rumor mill. All right, you know, they're going to go after the top free agent and you just wait. I mean, they cannot do that again. Anybody who's advising anybody on PR should advise them, do not try that again.
Don't even go
the better way to do it is to make a trade when nobody's expecting it. Nobody's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When nobody, make a deal behind the scenes and get a guy like that. You add a guy like that to the mix. I mean, if I was Farhan, I would say one thing. That kid Eldridge might be a really good hitter. I wonder who the GM will be, because it probably ain't going to be you if you go with him. But if you trade him here for Vladdy, and Vladdy becomes kind of like Schwarber was for the Nationals, where he has this big power spurt and he starts giving the place energy. He's a big energy player. To me, he's there. That one move could make your pitching better, your defense better, your vibe better, and maybe make you a contender in the playoffs. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but they do. It's a significant bat, right? I mean, the guy's big time. You're gonna have to trade something a lot real valuable, but I'd trade Eldridge. I would.
I think
I don't know. You can't guarantee me that Eldridge is going to make it past AA. So many of the Giant prospects just for whatever reason don't.
I think we all kind of have an idea and we know what Farhan is all about. But if we got Bob Melvin off camera, off microphone, and asked him, would he prefer to run with the kids or does he want to go back to the vets? What do you think Melvin's philosophy is?
I think if he's smart, he's not ignoring what you just said, which is look what they've done since the kids have come up. I mean, this was a lifeless, dead, anemic lineup not that long ago, where it was like, what is going on? And now Matos is just got thunder. Ramos is the guy that I worry about because sometimes I'm like, is he going to fall into a funk? And, because a lot of people feel like he's been given opportunities. I think this is his first real opportunity. He's hitting the heck out of the baseball. I mean, he's hitting it over 110 miles an hour. So I love watching that. And the guy's got a ridiculous hose. And, having met the guy, I mean, he's a hell of a guy. So, I mean, I'm rooting hard for him.
Absolutely.
And then Soriano, Soriano, we've heard Luciano, we've heard so much about Luciano for so long. And to see him, come of age right now, you can see why the scouts were so high on him. You can, he's a blue chipper as far as he's a crazy athlete.
Yeah.
He's got huge, strong body, and he's got major league power. I mean, you can just, and he's got, it looks like he's got good arm strength at short. He's a big time prospect. Now, can he stay at short? Is he going to play third? Is he going to play left, DH? I don't know, but I think he's really going to hit at some point. So they'll probably find a spot for him.
I would hang on to the kid's 22 years old. Just think of that, guys. 22.
Yeah.
Keep these three together.
But I mean, think about it. If you're that deep where you could promote these guys, they could do well, and then you could turn around and take a lower chip like Eldridge And yeah, he's not ready to play with these guys and probably won't be for 3 years. Speed that into Vladdy, and now you got a guy who's ready to join this group of young guys right now. I mean, that's how you kind of change your trajectory, is stop looking so far down the road. It's a risk, right? Because, this kid could be great. Eldridge could wind up being Mark McGuire for all we know. But
Senior's saying he has no home runs in 56 Major League Baseball. He hasn't had 56 games in the majors. Luciano? Luciano's only been up like, what did he play like last year? Maybe 7 games with the Giants?
Something like that. It's not very
and this year he's only been up for
ABs. He put ABs. He fixed it.
Oh, okay. So he's got
easy, Danny. You're biting this guy's head off.
That's Senior. I know who Senior is.
That's confusing at bats and games, and you're losing your.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing Senior that he's going to hit more than Ahmed as far as homers goes.
You better go get some anger management going.
Yeah, I know.
Really. I'm from Northern California. I'm offended by how unapologetic you are.
Look, Johnny, 1, 2, 3, bye, baby. Yeah, bye, Johnny. I'm just gonna send you packing here with that comment.
What do you think of Joey Bart's bomb to dead center?
Oh, I loved it. I thought I was so happy for the kid. I talked to Joey last year myself.
They should have kept him. That was another bad move.
That was just like he's a perfect backup to Bailey.
I know.
I mean, Bailey hits from the left side. Bart hits from the right side with power, and he's better than Murphy as far as a backstop. I don't know. And
Tom Murphy, what was he thinking?
Yeah.
How about Chapman just tomahawking one?
That was huge.
Right,
that was huge. That was above the letters. He went up.
Even Wisely got a big hit, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, it was good.
Wisely had good numbers in the minors, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Very good.
Eric,
I don't know if he's good. I don't know that much about Wisely. I'm low on my Wisely. I'm behind reading on my Wisely. What's is Wisely any good, or is he going to just be no?
What do you mean, Johnny? I didn't want Bart gone. I said Bart should be the backup. I said it in spring training.
Why'd you have to hate on Bart so much? Why'd you have to drive Bart out of town?
Yeah, this guy Johnny B. Johnny
B. Wrong.
Johnny Bye Baby is wanting me to give him the Bye Baby salute here, but I won't.
I got a feeling I know who it is.
You think it's Giovanni?
No, look at the C.
What's that?
The C on his name.
His logo.
His logo.
Yeah.
Who could that be?
Avatar. Cad V, probably. It's probably Cad V.
Oh, probably Cad V. Okay.
Are you like reading the labels of Lucky Lager caps right now? Yeah, it says plus, and there's a 2 there, and then it says down.
Roll the tape. It is Cad V. Cad V20. The guy that comes into your chat on 49ers and hates on me. And then we call him out.
What's up, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. Keep ripping Danny. Keep ripping Danny. Don't let he gets a fat head, especially during football season. He starts making money on the side. Just rip the hell out of him. He'll come in. My 3-team parlay covered. My fantasy team's in first place. He's doing it by week 6. By week 7, you've had enough. That's it. I don't want to hear about the fantasy team. I don't care about the goddamn trades. My wife thinks I'm cheating because you're proposing trades in the middle of the night.
Literally 2 in the morning.
I'm going to lose my mate because of your fucking fantasy team. I'm going to be living in a van down by the river.
That's hilarious. Oh man, that's awesome. Oh gosh. Well, Eric, I want to get to that. I just want to have that little talk because it was one of the worst times, one of the worst calls I've seen in baseball. Play that pop up tonight.
All right, I got it like halfway through, so where they kind of commented on it. Here we go.
We don't have to even listen. I don't know if we can listen to the comments or what, but it's off Twitter. Whatever. This was unbelievable. Will Mark.
Let's demonetize the show.
Does it demonetize the whole thing or just part of it, Eric?
I think it demonetizes
the whole damn
demonetizes the entire show and also sends somebody to your house.
Okay. Send them to my house. Open that big. Is that as big as it can get?
But you have a gate. Don't you have a gate and a security system? They won't be able to get in to your fortress.
Right. Yeah. Watch this, guys.
The guy on.
Can we make it a little bit bigger? I know it's
hit that thing in the corner.
No, I want to show it Twitter. I don't want to just show MLB. You know what I'm saying? I want to show that we're showing it off Twitter. I don't know if that helps or not, but it's better than just blowing it up.
What are we?
All right, there's the runner on second, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's over there is Gunnar Henderson.
Well, is this the beginning of the play or is this a replay?
I can't believe he's wearing that. I can't believe he's wearing that glove that way.
Here we go.
Oh, you guys can't see that?
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I've got really good eyes.
Let's take a look at this, Steve.
Well, Andrew did not do anything intentionally to deal at all with Henderson because he never saw him. Look, he doesn't know where Henderson is. Henderson's in back of him.
And he's just going back to the bag.
And he chooses to go around him. You got to go back
No,
to
they can't end the game like this.
Well, it's an infield fly rule, and
no way.
This would be an unbelievable ending.
Adrian Johnson.
That's ridiculous.
What happened? Explain that again. Explain what happened. What are we watching there?
The guy's on second. It's a pop-up infield fly rule, so he's going back to the bag because you could drop the ball if you're off
called
the bag
infield fly, so the batter's automatically out. The runners go back to their original base, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Right.
And when he goes back to his bag, the umpire is saying that he got in the way of Gunnar Henderson trying to field the ball.
And he doesn't even know where Henderson is.
He doesn't even know where Henderson is. He's just walking back to the bag.
And he has a right to go back. I mean,
that's bad.
And they called the game on this.
Way.
He go back to the bag, and then he had to go around him. Umpire says it's
Johnson.
interference.
As the crew.
That's crap.
That's unbelievable. How does the umpiring in baseball is at an all-time low? I mean, I guess you got guys that are just, Angel Hernandez. I don't know what he's got on baseball, but how he has a job, and some of these other guys, but whatever. I mean, Eric Gregg, right? Remember the Eric Gregg game with Livan Hernandez pitching, throwing.
The strike zone was huge. It was just, absolutely huge.
But that was one of the most unbelievable games. It was like Dave Fleming would be losing his ass. I mean, Dave Fleming
strike zone.
Yeah,
it was like a little league strike zone.
Yeah,
like hey, it's kind of near there. What the hell?
Yeah.
Eric Gregg definitely had the over 6.5 strikeouts on that game.
Oh
yes,
God.
For sure. Don't think that conspiracy stuff was only that basketball ref. It's probably been done quite a bit over the years.
Oh, did you hear him recently?
Tim Donahue?
Yeah, he was on a week or so ago talking about what was he talking about? A sport that was being, I can't remember what it was. He was talking about something and he said this is definitely games being umpires or refs are doing something.
That would be an interesting topic. Does anybody in the chat remember Tim Donahue? He was talking on Twitter or YouTube about a week ago, and he was saying something about a game, and he was analyzing the game, and he was saying how he was basically calling it out, that how they were able to cheat or that they had money, they probably were betting.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. I mean, we can talk about this all day and all night. What it really came down to is that Donahue had like 275,000 calls or some ridiculous amount of calls, not 275,000, but a lot of calls to like two other refs. And yet David Stern called him a rogue, isolated criminal, and that he, was all him, marched him out of the league, kept these other guys, and never did any kind of independent investigation. It was just like, oh, this is just going to go away. We won't talk about it. And that's what happened. It just went away. And nobody talks about it, but nobody ever debunked it. And why did he call these other refs 700 times? And why didn't those refs lose their jobs? It's like they were talking about games. Obviously there was some, so they wanted us to think it was all Tim Donaghy, but obviously it wasn't. He had people that other refs that he was talking to and communicating with, but all that stuff just kind of went away. So,
I actually,
in my mind, I think that, obviously it was in the NBA's best interest not to have this be a major story. And
can we
found a way to squash it?
Can we play something off of Fox from Tim Donaghy?
I don't know.
He was talking about Shohei. That's what it was. He was weighing in on Shohei's gambling.
What did you think?
He thinks Shohei's involved.
Of course.
Can we play that, Eric?
Man, I don't know.
Unless you know that many rich interpreters.
It was
Fox?
really
Probably not.
Probably not. It was on. I
have a buddy. You're telling the story, and then you're trying to get people to believe it. I have a buddy who lost millions of dollars gambling, but he also was a professional baseball player, and he made millions of dollars. Are you shocked? No. If I told you, I have a buddy he's a interpreter, and he's lost millions of dollars gambling. You'd be like, what? You don't make millions of dollars as an interpreter. So
I don't know. To me, football referees have decided and changed the course of history more than any sport.
That's an easy sport to throw. Because it's so.
I can talk about so many games, and a lot of them included the Niners.
The '83 NFC title game at RFK.
Yeah,
Eric Wright.
That was the first one that came to mind.
Super Bowl 47 against the Ravens. The double hold on Bruce Miller on the touchdown.
The Seahawks.
I don't know. You take away that touchdown that you gave them. Maybe the Niners probably would have won the game.
Are you talking about the opening kickoff?
Jacoby Jones opening kickoff second half.
Yeah. Did you see
double hold on Bruce Miller, and the guy ran through the gap that Miller was in. I mean, Miller would have made that tackle. Absolutely would have made that tackle.
I guarantee you.
Double hold, no call.
I guarantee you that John Harbaugh at halftime called that play and said, just hold. If we get caught, we get caught. If we don't, it's a touchdown. Because it was so intentional the way they went out and just
so intentional.
They hugged him. They just literally
sandwiched him.
Just like they hugged Bosa in this last Super Bowl. Multiple times.
Sickening, really.
And the one that nobody talks about because it wasn't a Super Bowl or a playoff game. Oh, it drives me crazy when I go back and watch it. The Niners should be the second team in NFL history to be undefeated. Eric Wright's pass interference against the Steelers cost them that game. It was one of the worst calls ever.
Terrible.
He made a beautiful play on that call. That was fourth down. Game's over. Niners go, 16-0? They would have been the second team past the Dolphins.
84 Niners are one of the greatest teams of all time.
It would have been a 17-0.
History forgets that.
19. They went 18.
History forgets what the reality of the moment. The reality of the moment was that 84, that team was loaded. Team was stacked.
84 versus 89. That's
I mean, the only thing is 84, that's Joe at like this physical super prime. He got smarter and better later. But I mean, he physically was incredible in that his movement ability. And there, that point, 84, they had Roger Craig and, Rathman and, they didn't have Jerry, but they still had Dwight and they had Freddie and they had, and defensively, they had this incredible defensive line with
9 defensive
three different nose guards and all kinds of veteran defensive linemen, Eric Wright, Ronnie Lott, Carlton Williamson, all these great young DBs. I mean,
the great Louis Kelcher was our third string defensive.
When you
tackle.
and
nobody talks about it, but like Eric Wright was kind of futuristic at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, there really weren't a lot of corners in the NFL that were Eric Wright's size and athleticism. He had that major injury where he, kind of, derailed his career a little bit, or definitely slowed back end of his career. But I mean, at his best, Eric Wright, I'd put Eric Wright's cover ability up there with every guy who's ever played corner. I mean, he's just big, strong,
underrated.
fast, tenacious.
Yep.
And 84, they went up against Duper and Clayton in the Super Bowl, and he
Shut
just
him
shut
down.
them down, man.
Shut them down.
That was the beauty.
You
of
talk
Walsh. That was
about
the beauty of Walsh, an offensive guy to know the defense sucked and fill the weakness and go 3 DBs, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
Lott, Williamson, and Wright.
3 rookies started. Yep.
And rookies started at that time. Talent
3 rookies
won
started.
out.
Yeah. We talk about football refs and basketball. I mean, football, to me, baseball is still the purest sport when it comes to officiating for controversy. You rarely have a baseball controversy. It's like, oh, that blew the game, that call. I mean, you got replay. You're getting it right. I mean, football, and I heard you, Larry, you and Damon talking the other day, Larry, about the rest schedule of as far as the Niners. The Niners have 4 teams they're playing this year. They're coming off a bye, and some teams only have 1, and some have none.
Well, how about this? The sport. I mean, to me, this is the thing that just reveals it. First of all, it's gotten people say, well, why is it a story? Like you're making up a story that why was it not a big deal before now? It hasn't been as big a deal until now because the NFL has been more reasonable and more
equitable,
player conscious, and have kept this thing a lot more equitable and a lot more fair. The last 3 years, they've totally sold out for just the biggest TV audiences and the most revenue at the expense of a fair and equitable schedule, so that 2 Super Bowl contenders, like this year, the Super Bowl is back in New Orleans, and there's I would say at least 20% chance, 10% chance that it could be Niners Ravens. If it is, the Ravens this year were plus 16 in rest days. They had 6. They're going to have 16 more days of rest than their opponents. The Niners are minus 22. Minus 22.
So it's a 37 day, something like 36, 37.
37-day rest advantage in a season that's 4 months long. That's a lot of extra rest. Would you agree? And they could easily wind up in Super Bowl Sunday playing the Ravens, who will have had 37 extra days of rest.
Plus a lot less travel.
Plus less travel. So it's really when you think of it that way, and then they broke down. Like people are like, well, how big of a deal does it mean? Okay. Last year, the Chiefs had 5 games where they had a rest disadvantage. The Chiefs, okay, the world champion Chiefs. They went 2-3 in those games and 1-4 against the spread. And you know what that means. In the rest of the games, they won. They covered like 80% of the time, and they won. They were like 13-2 or something.
Jeez.
So, I mean, it matters. The 49ers had a rest disadvantage last year in 3 or 4 games, and they were 3 or 4 of the worst games they played all year. They had a rest disadvantage against Cincinnati. That was a horrible game.
Oh, yeah. The Bengals are coming off of a bye.
The Bengals had 13
and the Niners
days of extra rest. So
and
it
the
doesn't
Niners
matter.
are coming off of a Monday night game in Minnesota.
I'll say this for Shanahan. I don't know if somebody put the gag order on him or if he just chose to kind of come across as like, I'm aloof, I don't care. But he was asked by Matt Mayoka what he thought of the rest disadvantage. And to his credit, he wasn't like, now he's got to be a leader. He can't have a built-in excuse. He doesn't want to have no coach wants to have a built-in excuse why you fail, especially not in May when the season doesn't start till September. But, still, I would have thought he would have said, hey, back-to-back years, we have the least rest of the worst rest differential in the league. You would think this thing evens out, and from year to year. But, I mean, nobody wants to say anything because everybody knows the bottom line. The league has sold out to get the better matchups and the matchups that more people are going to want to watch in the bigger markets. produce a revenue that they want to achieve. And it's all about, revenue records and this and that. So we got to get Niners, Jets. We got to get, all these matchups we got to get. And it doesn't matter if, one or two teams has a different, if it's not exactly fair. And that, but I mean, when you look at rest in football, I mean, rest in baseball is a curse. You have 10 days off between series. You're like, oh my God, that's a major problem. Because it's a rhythm sport you play every day. In football, rest is like, I mean, think about it. They play for home field advantage. I've heard Shanahan and players say, hey, the bigger advantage is not playing at home. The bigger advantage is the week off. So if the rest is so big in the playoffs, don't you think 37 days of extra rest is going to help Baltimore? I mean, it's just, to me, that level of inequity in a 4-month schedule is shamefully, that, I don't know. To me, that's impacting the competition. Like, I like the Ravens to win the Super Bowl more than I like the Niners, simply based on that.
Something to consider as a betting edge as the season goes along, to check those rest and schedule days.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The stats don't lie. Larry's right.
Speaking of rest, I'm going to need to get some. It's been going for 3 hours and 10 minutes. So, man, it's been a long night, but a good one. Giants continue to play well, have a shot of actually coming back home after this series against the Mets at 500. If they win 2 of 3, they will be 500. They better win 2 of 3 because they've got the Phillies and the Yankees waiting for them. So it's not going to get easy. But so win these games, stay close. And the National League is down this year. I said this a couple days ago. I mean, the Giants are getting better. But frankly, when they were 23 and 26, I said, this is not a good team, but it still may make the playoffs because there's not a lot of good teams in the National League, and you just got to get in. So hopefully they keep the kids. Hopefully Farhan gets aggressive and makes some moves. We talked about Vladdy tonight. Maybe they make a move. The one thing I would love to see Farhan do is not wait till the trade deadline the day of. Do something like Dave Dombrowski does or AJ Preller and make a move a month before the deadline when everybody else, it's kind of like, the art of war, dropping a bomb on somebody when they're least expecting it. Make a trade. Like when you go down to the deadline, you end up with guys like AJ Pollock. Okay. Let's do something a little bit more creative and aggressive if the need is there, please. But,
and if you really think a player's going to improve your team, wouldn't you want to have more games with that player? I mean, that's kind of the point. So they could just get you get a guy like Guerrero, you get him for, from, let's say July 1st on, or, mid-June on or something like that. I mean, that's going to help you that much more. I mean, the Giants may, they're going to need more track to have a chance to win the playoffs or to get to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any final words, Los, Eric, what you got?
Larry, have you ever been to Wrigley?
Yes.
I'm going there for the first time finally next month. Any recommendations for spots around the ballpark?
Yeah, I mean, all those bars around right field are nice. I mean, and also I haven't been in the last 5 years, but all the area around the ballpark is, different bars and little restaurants, and you really can't go wrong. It's cool if you want to take the view from the place across the way where they have the highest seats up there. That's kind of a cool view. And I think you can actually go up there before the game, even if you don't have tickets, and take pictures and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, then give yourself 3-4 hours before and after the game to kind of explore the area around the ballpark. and you're just gonna love it. It's just
No
like a
doubt.
little baseball village. Doesn't matter if the Cubs are good, if the Cubs are bad. It's just kind of like little Cubville. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Cool.
You know what? I'll talk to our buddy Lou. He knows somebody
Yeah, he
really
would
well.
know.
He knows somebody really well in Chicago that has a big sports bar, and
Yeah,
it's
let us know.
it's the guy who's the name of the guy that did the big the movie Star Wars, but it's not same name but different.
George Lucas.
George
Yeah,
Lucas.
Yeah, there's a George Lucas.
Isn't it called like the Cubby Hole or the Cubby?
Something like that. Yeah, Lou's friends with the guy, so we'll see. If
I mean, Lou Malnati's is that's a place everybody likes there. I'll tell you go to Gino's East on Division pizza place.
East.
Terrific. Gino's East. Yeah, it's amazing pizza.
Cubby
place.
Bear. That's what it's called.
Yeah, but we got some good stories from Lou. Lou will have to tell you a good story off air. That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. You'll be just rolling. I'll tell you guys a little later. Anyway, thanks for joining, Larry, and we'll be back tomorrow night, 8:30-ish after the Giants Mets game, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Everybody have a great one.
Woo!
And play the kids.